Whoa, hold on, slow down. It's getting late. I could use a drink. Said tell Ellie I love her.
I like beer. It makes me a jolly good fellow.
Hey, remember when.
Hey! Welcome, ghouls and goblins and ghosts and monsters and killers and tweakers and pedos, all that nonsense. Welcome to XScream Halloween. It's the Humpday Happy Hour Triple H show, where it's Hallows Eve, and I'm so excited that the show landed the night before Halloween. Welcome to Cinema Gulp. I'm Ben, and I just came from a Diddy party where they weren't handing out baby oil, but they were handing out baby powder. I don't know what for, but welcome, everybody. And of course, we've got the Ayatollah of Flat Coca-Cola, the Michael Myers of free-based fentanyl. It's Scotty R37. Woo!
Those Hobbit movies were so boring.
Yeah. And my queen, we bow to the queen of the Diddy parties. It's Elvira's, the queen of black and white, with the best legs on YouTube.
Thank you. Cheers.
Already slurring words. And we have the guru of the Steelbook Nightmares. It's Katz, and I think she's here. There she is. All right. And joining us, I think, for the first time on Humpday Happy Hour, we're super happy to have him, is the undead lead singer of Nickelback, Brian. That joke made more sense when he had long hair.
He looked just like him.
Yeah, he did. So welcome everybody. It's happy to have you guys on the panel. We're gonna have a lot more people coming on. They're gonna show up here and there. At least I think they are. But before we get started, we're gonna talk all things horror movies. We're gonna talk about movies that scared us as kids, and maybe even some that scare us as adults. So it's gonna be a fun night, full of booze, horror movies, and nonsense. But I want to get to the chat really quick and see who's here. I know that, well, first thing I want to do is acknowledge that we got a super chat before we even started the show. Woo! Ash D,
Wow.
Ash D, thank you so much. That's amazing. I appreciate that so much. You're such a fun person to, in the chat and to hang out with. So wonderful.
So
Scotty,
Ben,
yeah, Scotty says Vincent Price. I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
no, I know, and I should have dressed up like Vincent Price. If I had put some thought into this costume, I would have dressed up like Vincent Price. But I would like to say to Ash D, that I remember a time when $4.99 was the cost of a magazine. And so what I am going to attempt is to give you as much entertainment as a magazine.
Which could be a lot depending on the type of magazine it is.
It depends on the magazine for sure.
It does. Protein says Happy Hallows Eve. CG, thank you. Let's see. I think Ash D is here blowing up the chat. I love it. Keep it moving.
Protein.
Yeah, and okay. Well, that's it for now. There's lots of chat. Oh, Ashley does say hello to Elvirus, even though she's actually technically just Joanne today. That's fine.
I'm always Elvirus. Hi,
And
Ash.
she also says hello to Kat. And she also says hello, Scotty. Are you Randall from Clerks? Oh,
Yeah, I'm trying. And so before we go on, so this is the hat. This is the actual. It's rather weather beaten, but it says the Leonardo Reapers. And then at the back, it says, "Stick it between the pipes."
So that's
Man.
authentic. That's authentic.
Yeah,
What you're saying.
it did not serve me well when I was in an elevator in Montreal and someone saw it, and I was wearing it backwards because that's what Randall would do. And they said, they looked at it and they were like, "What does your hat say?" And I was like, "Leonardo Reapers." And they were like, "Oh, Reapers. That's better."
All right. Well, thank you for that.
But it was the most awkward because they thought I was, it said something without an E.
I remember you could rent a movie for $4.99. I think you could rent 3 movies for. Well, Brian, if you remember where we grew up, Video 99.
Yes.
VHS rentals were 99 cents.
Right next to the comic book store.
Yep, right next to the penny. Yeah, they had the penny bin. Oh, that was great.
I remember waiting for like new releases to have their price drop so that I could get them like, oh, it's $4.99. No, I would wait. I will wait for this movie until it's $2.99.
Hey, Brian, do you remember the room where you had to walk through the beads?
Yeah, I was just going to mention
the porno room.
Yeah,
and they made it so that you could keep your dignity, where you could push the box that you wanted through the little slot and then walk out, and then they would bring it around in a normal box so that children and mothers and normal people didn't realize that you were getting hermaphroditic porn, right, Randall? Beautiful chicks with dicks that put mine to shame.
How many
black
times
cocks
did you
with
end-
curly white cum?
Coming in socks, come on, Eileen.
Oh, and Happy Scrappy Hero Pup.
Yeah, Ben frequented the back room.
Oh, I was always in there.
See, we didn't have beads. We had like swinging double doors from a Western.
Oh, that
I've
sounds
seen those
like a
too.
saloon. Like a saloon.
Yeah.
That sounds
A
great.
saloon.
And then we just took tags off of the pornography.
Yeah, then there was a massage parlor next door too.
Yeah, there was. Yeah. See, they had everything: comics, porn, massages, and Mexican.
This club has everything.
I'm bringing up, and I'm just going to do a real quick rundown of this, guys, because normally we'll do like a box office rundown of the week. This one is different because I want to look at, now that we're reaching the end of October. I know there are some like kind of throwaway horror movies that might actually be good coming out in November, and even in December. Nosferatu comes out in December, which could end up being the best one. But in the meantime, the stuff that's come out so far, in not just in October but all year long, it hasn't been a huge like box office. Quiet Place obviously took the first place because that's like a blockbuster / horror. That's actually one of my favorite films of the year so far.
That was in the theater?
Yeah, it was great.
Huh?
Lupita Nyong'o and Eddie from Stranger Things.
Yeah, good.
But it did really well, and I get people keep saying Alien Romulus like did really well. Like, I don't know, did it? Like,
You hate that movie though.
well, it cost
I hate
like
that movie.
80.
It was better than Quiet Place Day One, I'd say.
I disagree.
I hated Quiet Place Day One, but that's just me.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't really like
Long
Quiet Place
Legs
Day
was
One.
the surprise of the year because they did all this bullshit fake press where like it's the scariest movie ever made. Here's the heartbeat of actress Micah Monroe because she saw Nicolas Cage in makeup, and then you watch it and you're like, it's fine. Terrifier 3, I mean, $44 million for basically an NC-17 movie is pretty insane. So that one feels like the biggest hit because I think it costs like $1 million to make.
Well, they also just re-released Long Legs in theaters as well.
Yeah,
which is surprising. I don't know.
I was so excited for that movie, and it was just like,
and the plot was pretty convoluted. I like Nicolas Cage's scenes though.
Daddy, doing his Nicolas Cageisms. Smile 2 kind of underperformed, and I really liked it. I liked it a hell of a lot better than the first one.
And just what Ash D was asking, where's Late Night with the Devil?
It's down here. It's 18.
18.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Well,
top
to me-
25 for a year ain't bad.
Well, you know what? To me, the concept of that movie was great. I rewatched it with John the night that we recorded our Halloween mixer, and it's kind of slow and like nothing happens for a very long time, and then
I
it's just
watched
kind
it
of.
too.
That was a really good movie.
It's so. Yeah, I mean, David Desmulchin's excellent in that movie. Absolutely. But yeah, that Speak No Evil was fantastic. I love that one, and I love the
Me
original. So good. Strangers Chapter 1 was okay. I didn't know it made 35 million though. That's pretty good because it didn't cost much. Night Swim, one of the worst movies of the year, maybe
Hell
one of the worst
yeah.
movies of the decade. Just a shit.
I heard about it. I didn't. see it.
Actually, Imaginary number 9 beats Night Swim. That movie's pathetic.
Is
I'm
Maxine?
surprised that The Strangers Chapter 1 is as high on the list as it is. 'Cause
Me
that
too.
was-
I didn't even know it made any money at all. Yeah. I just thought it was okay. It was like what? It's the worst Strangers movie, but it's like whatever. You know.
Is
What were you gonna say?
Maxine on here?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
Maxine.
15.
No, it
It's in
is
15.
15. Yeah, but Maxine was barely a horror movie, and it
Yeah.
was kind of a letdown. So it didn't.
I'm
get
just
the work.
curious. I'm not angry.
Yeah. But Abigail kind of disappointed me as well. I thought it was fun, but just
It was
Yeah.
fun.
That was a fun movie.
the first
I saw it.
Omen
Yep.
is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw
It was-
that, but
yeah, I saw that one. I thought that was great.
I
I'm
loved
gonna
it.
make a note. I'm watching it.
The Watchers, another movie that might be the worst movie of the year.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
a piece of shit.
didn't
Tarot, I
Megan
think, was
come
even
out?
worse. Tarot was
Tarot,
awful.
I didn't see Tarot, but I've heard
That was
it's-
oh god, that was so garbage.
I've
When
heard
did
that that's
Megan
like,
come out?
Megan
That was
came
last
out
year.
2 years ago. Was it last year?
January 2023.
Yeah.
Okay,
Megan's
so
great.
my mistake.
Yeah.
You know, another good one that's almost all the way at the bottom of the list was Out of Darkness. That was really good.
You know, I didn't see that. And Joanne, I finally saw Oddity.
It
'cause
was
I know-
so good, right?
it was good, and it was good. It
I
wasn't.
thought
like,
it was really good.
No. Just because I said it's not great doesn't. I thought it was really good. I just thought it was a little too quick, wrapped up a little too quick. Really eerie, great tension, great acting. There's
Great,
some
like-
fucking scary scenes in that movie, but they're few and far between. But I did like.
The thriller, like it's kind of more like a thriller horror, which I love thrillers, so I really loved it.
Yeah, no, it was a good movie. I'm glad you recommended it. I'm glad I watched it.
Good.
But I would put probably like, the next one down the line, Immaculate. I loved.
It was good.
Loved
I liked
it.
it too.
Yeah, Immaculate and The First Omen are like my favorite horror movies,
15.
and they're both basically about the exact same thing. Like a nun who
What-
gives birth to the devil.
I
or
know.
whatever.
I watched them close together too and thought the same thing.
Yeah, and then
No,
we
No,
said we
Late
have
Night with the
Maxine.
Devil is better than Maxine.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
John's here. John is here.
Jana!
Yay!
There's the
Said
man.
what? You want to see a
Uh-oh.
donkey show?
What's up there, John?
I'm not here. Take me
Oh,
out.
okay.
I'm not here.
Oh,
Well, I got to do John's proper introduction.
Not yet. I'm not even here. Just take me out.
yeah.
He's
Drop
the cinema
him-
and
drop
he's
him
the
to the
cinema and cinema
background.
gold.
He'll let you know.
His intro's done. He's a cinema and cinema gold. Done. All right. So, and here John's hitting. He came at the right moment because my next sentence was going to be, and the biggest crime of the year is that The Substance right now has only made $13 million.
Yeah.
Because that movie is one of the best movies of the year. Like, it's not just
Oh.
one of the best horror movies; it's one of the best movies of the year.
Very
Top
good.
3 for sure. Maybe top
I need
2.
to watch that.
It's
Yeah, me too.
fucking nuts, dude. It's a very entertaining time at the movies.
And
Never Let
not-
Go. I saw Never Let Go with Halle Berry. It's fine. It
Mm-hmm.
feels like an M. Night Shyamalan movie, but done a little bit better
That's
because it
gonna
actually
say,
follows through with its concept. Yeah, it's
Looked
a little
like The
bit better.
Watchers.
It's better than it's way better than the Watchers.
Okay.
Do you remember that? Remember that movie with like Margot Robbie, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Chris Pine? And it
Z
was
for
like
Zachariah.
that's the one.
What's it called?
Z for Zachariah.
Yeah, that's
Never even
what
heard
that
of that.
Halle Berry one looks like.
I thought it was
But
kind of
with
fun.
kids.
Kat, I think you saw it too, right? Never Let Go.
No, I did not. That left.
Oh,
me
you
to-
didn't. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So then we'll just round out in the next few. Late Night with the Devil made 10 million. And and Cuckoo, which I really wanted to see. I'm going to watch it tomorrow with Josh over here, actually.
Who's in Cuckoo again?
I don't know. It's what's her name?
Claire Schaefer?
Yeah.
Set in like Austria, I think.
From the chick from Euphoria.
Right.
Anyway, I saw the TV Glow is not a horror movie. I don't know why that's on here.
Haven't seen that.
Mildly disturbing.
In a Violent Nature is a complete piece of shit. So,
I appreciated the idea. I did appreciate the idea.
Same here.
They made certain scenes too long and a few different things that they did that could have
broke their own rules so much in that movie.
Yeah, it could have been better, but it was a good concept.
Let's see here. Who is in the chat? If anybody, I want to see if anybody new showed up.
You missed Sting. Why is Sting on there? That's the Spider movie. We watched that.
John's a dragon.
That was sticking out the side of his arm in our substance review.
Oh.
John Ashby says hi, John.
Hello. All right. Late to the party, but I'm.
Oh, dude, not really. We just
I'm seated.
It's actually perfect timing. I'm going to let Scotty, if he's ready, let Scotty do his DVD roundup, and Kat's going to join him with a new 4K that she got. You ready to go, homie? You ready to go?
Ready. Yep.
You will have an ice cream headache.
All right.
You always got to let that sink in, you know?
Yeah, you do. Come on. Today, I'm going to start slow, and I'm going to try and end strong. And then I'm going to let Kat go, unless, Kat, you would like to interject, which is your prerogative. It is my privilege to share this ice cream headache.
I don't follow the terminology, but okay.
It's from the Dead Zone.
Like, we know each other. We co-host shit, yo. So I got a Criterion disc of Noah Baumbach's Kicking and Screaming. It has Eric Stoltz, Elliot Gould, and a bunch of people that you do not know. This is a fantastic disc. It does have liner notes. It also has Olivia Dabo, and you'll remember her as playing a Q. She was Amanda Rogers, I believe, in a Star Trek episode. But so many liner notes, it's an essay and a half.
Yeah,
But
that's
also,
a lot, dude. That's a lot.
It is a lot. But also, here's the fun thing. Here's the outside. This is the outside of the disc. The interior of the disc is an actual functioning crossword puzzle.
Is that a crossword puzzle or a
Yes.
hashtag? I couldn't
No,
tell.
oh no, a QR
It's going to
code.
look like I was supposed to put my phone up
QR
to. Yeah,
code.
QR code. Sorry, yeah. That's what it looks like.
So, if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It's about a bunch of people who graduate from university, college, what have you, and they don't know what the fuck to do with themselves. The reason the movie is called Kicking and Screaming is because they are being dragged, kicking and screaming, into their adulthood. It is very 90s, and it boasts some excellent performances. So I would recommend that. I also got this.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Yeah.
See, this is one that I don't really have to talk about much.
Yeah.
I know. You know what? Just John Goodman and that Forsythe
William
fella.
Forsythe. Yeah.
That's him. What a great team.
These are good cereal flakes, Mrs. McDonough.
I got some Last Picture Show because of Bogdanovich. I heard that he was a good director. I've never seen this before. I want to. There are liner notes. I just watched this tonight.
Nice.
This is, you know what would, okay, so flashback to last week.
I love John's
Diddly-doo.
constant costume changes.
I watched this and I was like, no, this is in my top 5. I think
It's
that
fucking
this
amazing,
is,
dude.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so good.
It's my favorite.
And you know what?
movie of all
The
time.
thing is, you want violence? Great. Zombies? Super. Guns? On your side. Fun? Yes. tits all over the place. Like,
Well,
it's
yeah.
insane. This is almost the perfect Halloween movie.
Got Leanne Quigley just completely naked for most of the
Just
movie.
absolutely. So I got this for $7, and you and I have to review it.
I still need to see it.
I hate this fucking movie so much. I
I've
think it
never
is a piece
seen
of
it.
trash.
Then why did you get it?
Because I have to see it. I have to see it again, and I have to argue about it. I have to prove that I am correct. And you
When
know
I say I
what?
didn't like it, it's not that I didn't like it.
See, exactly. But the thing is that I'm gonna watch this, and the thing that I am most afraid of, because I saw this when it first came out on DVD, and now I got the cat. You would love this. It's a tin. And so anyway, I'm gonna watch this, and the thing that I'm afraid of is that I'm gonna like it. And then
Donnie
finally,
Darko's great. Donnie Darko's a good movie.
I still need
no,
to
I
see it.
refuse. I
Still need to
refuse
see it.
until I watch it again.
It doesn't
And
make
then-
sense, but it's an interesting movie.
So, like a David Lynch movie.
Yeah,
That's a
more
good point.
entertaining in my opinion than David Lynch.
Last but
Ah.
not least, something that I want to get under my belt, and it is the perfect time of year. I've never seen it before. The night before Christmas.
Oh, you can't go wrong. You
That's
gotta,
so
Scotty, smoke a big spliff and watch that movie, like a big
I
one.
will. You know what? I'll smoke a big joint.
Well,
I'll
that's what I
go
mean.
babysit my nieces,
There you
and we'll just sit in the couch.
go. Ashty says, "Whoa, blast from the past, Donnie Darko. That movie is a fever dream."
Yeah, I hate it. Kat, what do you got?
Yeah, Kat.
Well, I got 7 films today, but on the horror side, which is relevant.
Show the horror ones. Yeah, yeah.
But horror, I've got see the 4K of Nightmare on Elm Street. First time on 4K, finally.
Sweet. Oh, that must look
transfer.
so good. That must look so good.
It does. It's quite good.
Though kind of the dirtiness of the first one was part of its like appeal too, you know. Like they got
Yeah, it
glossy.
still looks very much like the.
Good,
Or maybe it's
good.
my TV. It didn't look too incredibly different from the Blu-ray, but that's probably because I have a lower end 4K TV. But it still looks really nice, clean transfer. And this other one that just came today on the horror side of things, Night of the Living Dead.
Woo! That's awesome.
4K.
4K and Blu-ray includes the work print version, Night of Anubis. I just opened this like literally 5 minutes before we started, so I have not. I've seen only the crappy quality YouTube versions that are on really, really cheap quality. So I'm looking forward to watching this and
That's
perhaps
amazing.
sending some of these zombies to feast on Scotty's flesh later. Maybe tomorrow night.
What is that?
You know
Night
what?
of the
No,
Movie?
I have a Walmart version
Uh,
of Night of the Living
Anubis
Dead that
is
is on
the-
DVD and
Wait,
it's
hold on.
colorized.
Night of Anubis is the original title and the original cut of the movie before they
okay.
changed.
I never knew
Is
that.
there
I don't
some
know
big
what I don't know what the difference is because I haven't
Okay.
seen it yet.
Yeah,
But I've seen of course, the original film.
I've never heard that. Cool.
Yeah,
I went on a
fact.
full Night of the Living Dead adventure this Halloween season. I watched the original, and then to do one of our shows, I watched the Tom Savini 1990 remake, and it's fucking great. I don't know if you
It
guys.
is great.
It's so good. It's so good. What else you got, Kat? Is that all you wanted to show for horror? Like you got some other stuff?
well, I mean,
or-
I got tons of horror over here, right, and within reach.
Oh,
Like,
show the Fear and Loathing.
Okay.
Oh, is that new? You got a Fear and Loathing
Yeah,
in 4K?
I haven't opened this one yet. 4K.
Oh.
Fear and
Oh.
Loathing in Las Vegas.
I'm still dying to see Fear and Loathing deleted scenes. 'cause
Criterion.
I've only seen a couple deleted scenes from that movie.
Ton
I
of
know-
bonus features
Oh,
on this.
man.
It's really nice.
That is
so-
one of the best discs. I have it. I think we did that last week. I got it on Blu-ray. It was a couple of weeks ago. I got that Criterion on Blu-ray, and it is one of the best.
Here's something
Like-
I can show you.
All right.
Yeah. One of my prized possessions, Halloween-related holiday possessions, is
Nice.
frame poster signed by Nick Castle.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
Woo!
Very
That's
cool.
awesome.
The
I
shape
have a
himself.
version of that behind me.
Yes, the shape. You can kind of see the signature in the corner there. It's Nick. It says Nick Castle. The shape.
Nice.
I love this poster. It's my favorite of all their posters. And of course, that's annual tradition. I got that with me right here.
Of course. John, Ashty loves your shirt. She just rewatched The Shining and Doctor Sleep, and I feel like we have a connection, Ashdi, because 2 days ago I watched The Shining, and I said, you know what, John and I reviewed Doctor Sleep in 2019, and I think we both kind of didn't like it that much. We didn't hate it, but we didn't love it. So I rewatched it, and I still don't like it very much. I think Doctor Sleep is a mess. It's
yeah, this is the original and best.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Dr. Sleep. All work and no play makes Jack and Dull Boy for the hedges.
Nice. That's cool.
All right.
That's I'm seeing Psycho tomorrow night in the theater. Halloween tradition now.
What are you gonna
we saw Psycho 6 years ago on Halloween Eve in the theater. It was fucking awesome. It was awesome.
That was great.
All right, I'm going to show a couple of quick vinyl.
Ben, hold on. Yeah. Can I jump onto the ice cream headache for a second?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I got a couple things. You know, I collect. And it just so happened that actually the last 3 purchases that I made are all horror movies. So it works out perfectly.
Nice.
So we have this summer, possibly still in the running for best movie of the year for me right now. I know there's films like The Substance and Strange Darlings that I really liked, but this is a film that I walked out of thinking, you know, for what I had seen, it was the best that I had seen up to mid-July, I guess, or early July. A couple more movies have come out since then, but they have their flaws. So I don't know where I'm going to land with certain movies by the end of the year, but this movie is still quality. It's really good. Really enjoyed it. Could be in my top 5 for the end of the year. Quiet Place, Day One.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
One.
Haven't rewatched it since the theater watch, but it just worked really well. It's not about it. It worked as a drama. It was just a really great character piece, and that's what I'm interested to rewatch and get more out of. So
yeah, I knew you were going to say that, man. Because and when we walked out of that, I've been telling you to watch Pig for years, and the director of Pig directed that movie, and you're like, now I got to watch Pig. I'm guessing you still haven't.
I still haven't, but I bought it.
Oh, you're in for such a treat.
Yeah, Pig is great. I love that movie.
No, but I love that you love that.
Next one I have, I was in my mind, I was going to wait to start purchasing these movies until all 3 had come out, and I could buy them as a trilogy box set, and it was going to be one of the coolest horror movie trilogy box sets that I would have. And then Maxine came out and disappointed, and I'm not even sure I'm going to buy Maxine, but I already had Pearl, so I had to pick up X, because X is great.
Nice.
I don't know if I'll get Maxine. If I do, I'll get it as a standalone. I don't want to have it as kind of a box set. They keep selling it right now for like $30. I'm not buying Maxine for $30. So when I see it for $5,
God, John, you and I were like so stoked on like waiting for that 3-movie box set to come out. Like that's why we didn't buy either of the other ones. And then Maxine was like, it's not a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie.
It doesn't really fit with.
It doesn't live up to what those are. But
I disagree.
It's
well,
weird
but I still haven't seen Pearl. So.
Maxine came out in the middle of the summer. The DVD, I guess, the DVD went on sale like 2-3 weeks ago. But there's nowhere where they're selling a box set with all 3. It's like, how do they not have that already ready to go? That's what people were looking at this was because of how connected these 3 movies were. Yeah. So whatever, they missed their boat. I bought X. X is great. And then the last one I have to add was a recent rewatch, a movie that I've always loved from the 80s. Ben and I did our Halloween mixer and watched a couple movies after we filmed. And one of those was the Stan Winston directed Pumpkinhead. Yeah. And I was like shocked that I don't have this in my collection.
Such a great monster movie.
It just never had been picked up. I never found a cheap copy or something. So I rectified that. It? This was cheap. Yeah, we watched it together a month ago.
Is it like dark? Like, is it a muddy cinematography?
No, it's colorful.
No, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember it as being sort of.
It's got a lot of like tones. It's got the kind of the blue at night and a lot of like red and like brown kind of copper tones all throughout. It's kind of stylized, the lighting, but it looks really good. And the thing that stood out for me that I didn't remember was the acting, that everybody in this movie takes their roles very seriously.
Yeah, Lance Henriksen.
It's got teenagers and on the run from a monster. they kind of treat it with some realism of like how you would react if a monster came after you.
You know what, John? All that gets thrown out the window, starting with Pumpkinhead 2.
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
Beyond. It just becomes paint by numbers, copy paste, dumb teenagers. But
yeah. So that was my pickups for recently.
I'll jump on this train real
Nice
quick because I only have one, but it's a recent pickup and it's a really shitty DVD. It's nothing special, but
I love shitty DVDs.
So I got the Old Dark House. The Old Dark House.
Shitty.
Yeah, it's very shitty. Like it doesn't even. They can't even fit the. They can't even fit the the poster on the entire thing. But it was a cheap purchase. But the DVD plays fine, and for a movie that's that old, it doesn't really matter what the quality is. So, but
Well,
I like
if your phone rings in 7 days, don't answer.
Here you go.
I'm gonna do a couple of vinyls. Hey, hey, we got another dragon here. Hey, what's up, Games?
Oh, his
Hey,
hair.
hello,
is
say happy Halloween.
Yeah. Hey, what's
Wanna
up,
say happy
dude?
Halloween?
Hello.
He had so much fun and did so good with us on our haunted house hunt a couple weeks ago.
Aw.
Can
Super hardcore.
you dig it?
All right. I'm going to knock these out real quick, and then we'll move on to our topic and start talking about
We'll play the bumper for the ice cream headache, and then play the bumper for the vinyl.
There you go.
You will have an ice cream headache.
And now play
All
the
right.
vinyl.
Oh, I love it. All right. So we're moving on. I got a couple
Cheers.
vinyl. I got 3 vinyl. I got way more Halloween ones, but I don't want to take up too much of the time on it. But
Do you have Warren Zevon?
I do have Werewolves of London, but I have that vinyl. But I find even though I kind of despise all 3 of the Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween whatever, I do think it's hot take maybe, but the 2018 Halloween score that John Carpenter did with a couple, I think like Brian Eno or somebody like, I don't think it was Brian Eno, but some other amazing guitar player. I think this is almost superior to the original score of the 1978 one. It's basically the same thing, but it's just a little harder edged. And that's a great box set. I'm not going to take it out. It's 2 vinyl and they're colorful and beautiful, but fuck that. And now moving on to some original pressings. I love the Alan Silvestri, The Omen.
Why don't you make yourself big?
Oh, nah, it's fine. There you go. So the Omen score is amazing because it's not a traditional horror score. It almost sounds like it's some sort of period drama, and that's what makes it more scary when you watch it.
I've never seen The Omen.
Oh, it's fantastic, and this is a great Alan Silvestri
Got
score.
to.
Last but
Yeah.
not least,
Kick
is
Scott.
I have an original repressing from the early 80s, but not from 1982. And that is American Werewolf in London.
I love
which
Creedence.
is full of fun poppy songs from the era. You know, Blue Moon,
Yes.
Bad Moon Rising, so many. The Boys, Moon Dance. It's a wonderful, wonderful record. And it plays fine. It looks kind of shitty. It's kind of a messed up looking copy, but it has no scratches and no skips.
Much like the movie.
So for me, the 2018 Halloween score, oh my God, the Alan Silvestri Omen score is just beautiful and magnetic and wonderful. Great thing to have on in the background. And then, then American Werewolf in London. Can't go wrong. Oh, I love it. All right. Let's move on to our main topics. So first things first, guys, and I want to let Brian go first, if that's okay, because Brian, it's his first time on Humpday Happy Hour. So if you want, I think we could start with the horror movies that scared us as kids, or do you want to start with just your favorite horror movies?
Nah, I would like to start with scary movies that freaked me out as a kid.
Nice.
If you mean like elementary school and up to junior high school, then I think one of them was Pet Cemetery. That was always a super scary movie for me.
Zelda.
Because, yeah, I love pets, and I was always looking around. I always had pets in my house, and I was always thinking that they're gonna kill my ass. And the part of the movie that freaked me out the worst was when the kid gets raises from the dead, and then he's hiding under the bed, and he scalpels the dude's Achilles.
Yes.
That was. I still think about that every day.
Every day.
Whenever I'm walking past the bed, I'll get under there that's gonna chop my Achilles. So I usually
what about when you walk
over.
past cars?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, go. You guys are. This is all about horror movies.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
See, that whole movie's not scary to me, except for this, except for Zelda.
Yes, Zelda. Of course, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Is that Kathy Griffin?
I think it is.
That's who it looks like.
Oh,
It's actually played by a man.
So is Kathy Griffin.
Played by
Yeah.
Brad Dourif.
I love Brad Dourif. He just had a birthday recently. God bless
Really?
Brad Dourif.
Nice.
Brian, sorry, continue.
No, I think Nightmare on Elm Street always because
Fucked
You're-
me up
you're-
as a kid, for sure.
yeah, because I was so young when I watched it. I think I watched it at one of my friends' houses that the brother was watching or something, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Oh, I know.
3, 4, better lock your door. And you don't want to sleep because you're thinking Freddy's gonna like come from inside the bed and just like use his hand to just go right through your back. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
If
what I
I
was thinking. You can't sleep.
like Nightmare on Elm Street was the first horror movie that I ever saw, and I loved it.
Yes.
And I was not afraid. It was an adventure movie through sleep dimensions. Nancy is like probably one of my first crushes. Like
man,
Ripley.
I just
Nancy's
watched it. And
dope.
I just watched it again this year because me, you, and John.
too.
We obviously did the Bloody Good Year, and
Sure.
the whole bathtub scene. And I'm like, she's a lot sexier than I remember. Like,
Hell yeah. And
'Cause
she's
I
been
think she
doing
was-
like the
she was
rounds,
about
like the interview
22.
rounds with. Sorry.
yeah. No. You're right. She's been doing stuff with Robert Englund, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. But I think she was like 22 when she was playing the high schooler. So it's not that creepy to be like, wow, she was super sexy. You know?
But I don't know. There was something. There was the fantasy aspect of Nightmare on Elm Street that removed it enough that I didn't really get scared by it. The first thing that I ever got scared by was the trailer to Jacob's Ladder.
Oh, well, even that movie in general, dude.
Great
No,
movie.
I saw the movie and I was
Crazy.
like, the trailer was way scarier.
That movie's got some good body horror in it too. I don't even think of that one when I think of body horror because it's a psychological horror, but there's some fucking gnarly shit. Doesn't like his girlfriend like grow a tail while he's having sex with her or something, or dancing with her? I can't remember, but anyway,
She's like on the dance floor.
Yeah, on the dance floor.
And then
yeah,
she
that's-
grows a tail. He becomes
She gets raped by the tail of another creature, I think.
Oh, shit.
You know what? It's about time to rewatch Jacob's Ladder. See, I think that's a terrifying movie, and that came out what, like 1988? I was 10 years old.
1990.
Yeah,
1912.
Yeah. But yeah, man, Brian, Nightmare on Elm Street fucked me up. I'll probably have that on my list too.
Yeah, it's a scary one. I mean, it depends on like scary versus just disturbing. I think.
Yeah. It's only scary. Yeah.
I think the like ones that you thought about when you were a kid, you're like, oh man, like I just couldn't get out of my head. The Fly was a pretty nasty one.
I think what makes the Nightmare on Elm Street so genius, because you just said disturbing or scary. Nightmare on Elm Street 1 has some of the all-time greatest kills in maybe any movie ever.
Yeah.
But it toes that line perfectly of disturbing or creative and scary. Like, I know John really likes the Johnny Depp death, Glenn. I do too. The blood,
Yeah.
But I think Tina's death is so creative, and the way they did it with the rotating room, like, oh my God, it's just so good. And she's selling it so fucking hard, like how much it hurts, in that remake, it was just a bullshit, like CGI thing flinging around. But yeah, I think that movie like has really great, violent, scary, serious kills. Cause the first movie is just straight serious. It doesn't get goofy till like the third and fourth, where he starts showing up on MTV and
Dream Warriors.
Freddy Krueger made a rap album with the Fat Boys, right?
He did.
That was way after that. Then.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I'm gonna have to get that. You should get it on vinyl.
Scott, didn't you see? Well, you don't watch our videos, but when I on the Bloody Good Year, I play a clip of the Freddy and the Fat Boys.
Oh, I do. I did watch that. Yes. Yes. Also, you know what? Come on, Nightmare on My Street. I don't like Will Smith for a lot of reasons, but Nightmare on My Street's
it's pretty legit.
That was a fun video too, man. I remember loving that video.
You've got the body and I've got the brains. Fucking shout out to Nightmare on Elm Street 2, which I think is scarier than the first one.
Fucking love that movie. Is it cool to let Elvirus go next? Brian, anything else you want to say about that one?
No, I was going to mention The Fly, but The Fly was just nasty and scary.
The Fly is absolutely hideous and disgusting. I can't watch that movie. It is scary.
You want to arm wrestle?
So gross. Yeah.
It's funny you listed that as one of your, on your childhood list, because that's actually on my other list, which is like one of my favorite horror movies. I love The Fly. But I didn't really see it as a small child. You can have it. But, that's different. But yeah, it's also funny, because when you asked us the question, it's like the things that scared me as a child are much different than the things that scared me more now. So actually, there's things that scare me now that I wasn't scared of as a child. Because as a child, I watched The Exorcist with no problem. And now I'm terrified of it because I really understand. I have a deeper understanding of what is actually going on. Like when I was watching it as a kid, I was like, I saw these, kind of scary images, but it wasn't very terrifying because I didn't understand that it was like the devil possessing somebody and all that. So after I understood that, I was like, oh man, that's scary. But the things that did scare me as a child are things that like don't sound scary at all, like the witch from The Wizard of Oz. That is one of the things that it was like a scary image. I thought they did a great job, at least to scare a kid. I thought they did a great job on her makeup and everything. And I was also in Disney World one day where they did like the 3D, with the 3D glasses, and she was like right in your face. I remember that was terrifying. She didn't quite look like that, John, but yeah, she had green. The green.
No, that's from The Omen. Or sorry, from The Exorcist. That's the thing that scared me from The Exorcist.
What's the name? Is it Patootie?
Oh, I don't remember.
Pazuzu.
Oh yeah.
Pazuki.
Yeah. Patootie. It's not scary anymore.
No.
Will you come to the prom with me? No, Tootie.
But yeah, that scared me. And another thing that scared me that actually is also one of my favorites is Jaws, just because every time I was in the ocean, I would start thinking about is something gonna get me. Like watching the movie didn't scare me, but then it was something that like haunted me later. And those are actually the scariest movies to me. I can watch. Yeah. Feel like I can watch any movie, no problem. But if it comes back to me when I'm trying to sleep, I wake up in the middle of the night.
That's the thing to me. That's the thing about Jaws. Yes, it scared me when going in the water. But quick little fun thing. When I was a little kid and I shared a bedroom with my brother, we had like small beds, and It was really hot in the summer, and I think I had just seen Jaws recently, and I didn't want to let my feet dangle off the bed. I thought the shark might bite them. But then, as I was trying to fall asleep in my peripherals, I saw this giant shark mouth coming towards me on the right, and when I turned and looked, it was the rotating fan. It looked like it was coming at me, because it was rotating. Oh, I still remember that image, man. Yeah.
I think the mind playing tricks on you is actually the scariest thing in the end,
Yeah, for sure. Sure. But to piggyback off of Joanne, this isn't my number one scariest as a child, but this one fucked me up as far as going into the lake. Anybody know what that's from?
Not a fucking scary clue.
Flubber, right?
It's from it's the
Flubber?
segment called The Raft from Creepshow 2.
Yeah, Creepshow. That's right.
Creepshow 2, The Raft fucked me up so bad because it's basically
I remember that.
like these 6 teenagers, they swim out in this lake to this like kind of, raft, this wooden raft in the middle of the lake, and they just hang out there and drink and smoke and show their boobs and all that stuff. And then this blob, this like flat surface blob thing that's just like basically like toxic sludge, but it has a mind and desires. It just starts like consuming them. And
they're
really
sleeping on the raft. Remember that she's
and it even comes up through the bottom of the raft and pulls one.
That's how it starts. It's like,
and the actors are so convinced. A good kill has a lot to do with how the actor sells the kill, and like for just a segment in a Creepshow sequel, those actors just were crazy. But that had me scared to death of like going in a lake because it just seemed more real than anything else, and not more real than a shark. I mean, that can actually happen, but
Ben,
just that whole segment. Yeah.
If we want to segue from your Creepshow to my Creepshow, actually, my first thing on my list.
Really quickly,
correctly.
I want to say hello to Black Philip Alvarez in the chat.
Hey, Phil.
Yeah, he knew.
Ash knew too. Ash watched it yesterday.
You guys were getting all mad at the fact that there was no Maxine trilogy, and I just checked on Amazon. There is no Creepshow 2 box set.
Yeah, well, never made a third. I want to say hello to Angry Space Marine Infinity. Yo. Scotty typecast as a
I never.
Who would like to go next? John, what were you going to say? John, go.
Yeah, I was going to do my actual number one on mine, or one of the movies that goes the farthest back that I remember being afraid of was Creepshow 1. There's a segment called The Crate.
Yeah.
And for some reason, so it's this monster in the crate. You can see an image of it there. The thing that was weird, or that stuck with me in that segment of the film, the crate is located underneath like this staircase at a university, but it's the way they shot it. It's a very common setup that you would see in office buildings where a staircase comes down and there's a little bit of space underneath the staircase. Like my dentist, when I was a kid, specifically had this kind of same setup in the office building. And so anytime I would see that open space underneath the stairs, especially if it was kind of dark, I would think the creature from the crate lived in there. So that
I get it,
would freak me out.
That's
the creature itself is kind of silly looking when you finally see it, but it's more
Looks
about
like Harry Potter
living in the dark underneath the stairs when you were a kid, and obviously how violent and crazy the monster is when it does come out and murder somebody. It pulls them into this crate. In fact, in the image you can see how there's not much room. It pulls the guy through that tiny space and like basically squishes his stomach through the crevice. And so just that imagery when you were a little kid of seeing a body compressing and blood squirting out and this monster inside reaching its hand out and pulling the guy into the box, just I was nightmares forever.
I love how like I think I have those like gloves, those like wolf gloves, because they look really like plastic.
Yeah, that image I think is like a costume picture. It's not. Even
That's what
really
it seems
from,
like. Yeah.
I don't even think it's really from the movie. That's another picture. Again, I don't think that's actually from the movie. I think these are like
That
people's.
looks like Harry and the
costumes.
Hendersons' evil. Twin
Yeah,
brother.
the creature, especially seeing it again as an adult, it's like that is not that scary. But
Right.
the segment when I was a kid and just the setup of where it lived, worked for me really well.
Yeah, no, I think both Creepshow movies have one or two segments that, because a lot of them are filled with kind of fluffy bullshit, like the infamous Stephen King growing weeds out of his face and shit from the first one. But I love them both. I love I love those old 80s.
But that performance is fueled by so much cocaine. It's
cocaine.
amazing.
Oh my God, is it, dude? Yes, it is. You could see his eyes a mile away.
It's pretty awesome.
Kat, you want to go?
I'd say probably both of Carpenter's, The Thing and Halloween were pretty scary as a kid. They still work today.
Good ones, yeah, yeah.
Which one? They're also in my favorite lists too.
Which one hits you more as far as like Joanne said, something that sticks with you later? For me, it was always The Thing. The Thing was fucking terrifying when I was a kid.
Well, they kind of both do because they're both built on tension and suspense.
Yeah.
But The Thing is also because it's like they don't answer all the questions in that movie. Like,
and also who raided
the blood bank and destroyed everything? We don't know.
Well, and
Who's the thing at the
thing
end?
is scary because you're stranded. Like Halloween, I was always like, just keep running down the streets until you reach like a store. I don't know, I don't know. But yeah, The Thing was always scary because it's like you're fucking stuck. There's nowhere to go. Anyway, sorry, Kat. Keep going.
Well, the original you couldn't run down the street because she wasn't going to leave the kids alone in the house.
Well, whatever. Okay. All right, Scotty. See you in a bit. Scotty must smoke. I think Black Phillip is coming on soon, but anything else you want to say about those, Kat?
No, I think they're still really good films.
Cool.
Much better than their counterparts.
I was gonna let
their franchise counterparts, I should say, when they try and franchise that stuff.
It was gonna be Scotty's turn, but I say we go back to Brian. What's some other ones you have that fucked you up as a kid?
Well, it's funny because I had Poltergeist.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my number one, dude.
Yeah.
Number one. Yeah. Go ahead. Go.
That was a scary one because like the TV and losing the girl and just it was totally freaky. I was scared shitless of the TV because remember back in the old days, you actually used to have the TV and when the channels you go to like channel 3 and you have the ants on the TV.
Well, it would shut. The TVs would turn off at like midnight or 1 and play like the national anthem. Can you believe you're alive when that was happening? That's insane.
It's all shh, and you're like, uh-oh, we're dead.
Yeah, John.
Exactly.
So that always freaking freaked me out big time. And that's a great movie and great.
So many things about Poltergeist that fucking freaked me out.
I don't even think I finished that movie until I was probably like 15 or something.
I still never finished it. It's so scary.
Yeah. It was super scary.
And it's rated PG.
Gee.
You pussies.
Wow.
You fucking pussies.
They don't care. They don't care about kids.
So was Jaws.
Yeah, and Jaws.
I saw that film for the first time 7 years ago.
Whoa.
Which one? Poltergeist?
Poltergeist. I didn't like it, but yeah.
It's very dated these days. Like it's so rooted in like the early 80s. Like so much of it is like pop culture of that era, from the clothes to what they're watching on TV and stuff.
I don't mind that. It's I just didn't think it was scary at all.
Well, I think for us it was like we saw it as kids when it came out.
Well, I saw
that clown segment as a kid, you would be afraid of clowns for the rest of your life.
There is so much. There's so, dude. Even the subtle moments of ghosts in that movie freaked me out when they're coming down the staircase. It has so much to do with the score too. Just it's so eerie and fucking you know, and then you get Tangina, the little midget lady, and she's kind of creepy in her own way, you know, but funny, I guess, you know.
Be honest, you found her hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna
My
say
bad, my bad,
anything.
my bad. You're right.
Then you're
I think-
amongst friends now. Come on.
Another one I never finished until I got older because it was way too scary for me was Hellraiser. That was like
Dude, the
next
first
level.
I just rewatched that movie. It is so fucking good. That first Hellraiser is so good. It's so weird and fucking sinister and gross.
Seriously.
Second
that
one was
shit. Yeah, it freaked me out. I mean, I that's another one you're like, oh god, just thinking about demons from hell, and it was, you know, realistic and
well, the
weird.
demons from like the Cenobites weren't even the scarier part. It was Frank. It was Uncle Frank who's like, "Get me bodies." Like his body all like gross and blood. That was way scarier to me than when the Cenobites show up, because he's like, you know, seducing this woman and like it's so sexual, and he's like touching her, and they just keep showing how the blood from his hands is like going between her legs and stuff. It's so gross and graphic. Like, the Cenobites, you're like, okay, cool. These are the heroes. They're gonna kill this Frank guy.
You remember like going to junior high school, so like 7th, 8th grade. Remember, John, one of our favorites was Phantasm 2. Those were awesome.
John got me into Phantasm too, man. About 10, maybe 8 or 10 years ago. John, you still there? Fuck. Phantasm 2 is like,
I'm just on mute. I'm looking up something.
Phantasm 2 is so fucking great. It's such an entertaining movie. Man.
It's so good, and it's weird, and like
it's not really scary, but it's definitely a horror movie, though.
Yeah. The tall guy just can't die, and always just when you think you won.
Dick Van Dyke.
So I love him.
Howard Stern.
What?
Hey, Scotty. Scotty's back. So let's let him go with his. We've moved on to a second round, but we're not very far into it, Scotty. Let's let you have your first one of what scared you as a kid.
The scariest thing that I saw as a child, the first time that I ever remember being scared, was an episode of The Muppet Show where Vincent Price was on, and Kermit the Frog got vampire fangs, and I was like, Kermit the Frog with teeth is wrong.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen.
I was so upset. So yeah, that frightened me first.
Wow. I knew it was going to be something different.
Weird.
I
was trying to remember something like that because I have my little list here of specifically movies. My brain is so wired to movies, but I was sure that there's some good like television moments or something that isn't a movie that scared me that I would remember. But I was racking my brain and I was like, I couldn't think of anything. But
John,
I've got a nice little list of things that were movie related for sure.
Well, no, Kermit the Frog with teeth is terrifying.
John, do you remember Amazing Stories? That mini?
Yeah.
Oh,
there was a couple. There was.
I remember the airplane with the missing wheel or whatever.
Yeah, there was a couple of scary segments in there, and then of course, like Salem's Lot from '79.
There's an Elliot Gould episode of the new Twilight Zone, which is like the '80s one, and he's like. He goes to the same Chinese food restaurant all the time. And then at the end of the episode, he opens up his fortune cookie and it says he's dead. And it's
a Seinfeld episode
that blew my mind. I was so terrified.
Ashty says underrated for movie for me. The Others is so good.
Yeah.
And I love The Others because it's the reverse of a haunting movie. It's the absolute reverse. It's taken from the perspective of the people haunting them who don't know they're haunting them. I thought The Others was fantastic.
Yeah, it's really great.
I like Nicole Kidman. I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's really good. Really good. It came on the heels a couple years after something like The Sixth Sense, where they were doing that switcheroo.
Sure.
But it was a little bit different, so I liked it.
Also, big shout out to Large Marge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was scary. That was
definitely.
Joanne, what do you got? What do you got next, Joe?
So I was trying to think because the thing that scared me as a child and still scares me today is anything like ghost haunted house type thing. So both Poltergeist, like you said, I honestly I still haven't finished it because I've seen bits and pieces and it terrified me. So I'm still scared to go back to it. Anything else?
Wait, really quick, I want to welcome Black Phillip Alvarez.
Hey.
What's up, buddy? Thanks for joining. Continue.
But yeah, anything that has to do with like a haunted house, if it's done well, that'll scare me. And anything.
Did you like Paranormal Activity?
Oh yeah, that was scary. Yeah,
that was scary.
I like the first three a lot.
Yeah,
first three were very creative. Very creative.
I think I only saw the first one, but yeah, that was that was
I
something.
only saw the first one.
You know that'll stick with you. You know, like the thing under the sheets that you don't see what's moving under the sheets, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or just like somebody standing on the side of your bed. Just yeah.
I took my girlfriend Stacy at the time to see the third one, the one that takes place in the 80s. And she started crying during that movie.
Oh my gosh.
Like she was really freaked, like it was a kid. And I was like, "Do you want to leave?" And she's like, "No, it's fine." I'm like, "It's just a fucking movie." Because there's something about those movies that make you think it's real. You know?
Yeah, right. They're that type.
Well, and I want to bring up something.
It's
like
not the
7.
acting. I'll say that much.
But I want to bring up something like 7. Like I went into that movie understanding that it was going to be like the worst episode of Law and Order SVU that you've ever seen. And when I saw it, I was there with 3, like they were in their 50s or 60s, and they were there for Brad Pitt cheesecake. And when the knife dildo showed up, they were actively sobbing.
It's a knife strap on, Scotty.
All right, whatevs. It's still very disturbing to people who were born in the 1950s.
Yeah.
So I think that was a terrifying film.
What's in the box?
I was already like, I think I was about.
Don't worry about it. It's just Gwyneth Paltrow.
I think I was 17 or something. Yeah. A lot of people wouldn't mind if that happened with Goop. You know, a little Goop box. You know.
Shut up! I have 2 candles on the way. I want to know what it smells like.
Well, I'm gonna jump in and show one that I know Kat will probably disagree with me on this, but to me it was one of the most terrifying experiences I ever had in the movie theater. I should not have seen it. I was 9. My cousin took me to it. I've talked about this a million times, especially with John.
Oh my god! Oh, give me the light.
I think it's one of the scariest.
Hey,
movies
why'd
I've
you
ever-
stop it? Why'd you stop it? Can we just keep going?
Stop it.
Yeah.
Copyright claims.
Can't we just keep it going? Come on, I was into that,
I
man.
think it's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
I wanted to watch the movie instead of talk to you.
I know people call
I'm
it.
leaving. I'm gonna go watch it.
I know people call
exactly.
it
John's gone.
the action movie out of those, but to me, it is
No, it's a
so
horror
much-
movie.
It's so much scarier than Alien, in my opinion.
No.
But again, I didn't see Alien until I was about 13. So I was already a little bit older. When I saw Aliens, I was 9. And I had to tell my brother and my cousin to go check the house to make sure there's no aliens in there before I would even get out of the fucking car.
It's so funny that parents in the 80s decided that Aliens wasn't scary because there were guns in it.
It's so scary.
It's an action movie.
It took place in
is an
space. That's
action
how I
movie.
was allowed to watch it.
No, but it's still like, and what I'm saying is that it is still a terrifying film.
It's fucking
Because the
terrifying.
aliens are
I'm
fucking
saying-
terrifying.
I'm saying
But
the same thing as
people
you.
decided that
Yeah, no.
Aliens was not as scary as Alien when they are both very scary.
Are they?
Yes.
John,
They're
John,
tension-filled films.
John, sick cat.
They are filled with tension. As you were pointing out, Carpenter films are filled with tension. So are both original Alien films.
They're filled with tension. It just depends on what scares you. You know, they don't scare me. That's not something I'm scared of. Ghosts and possessions. You know, it just depends.
I'm scared
Are you
of being
saying, like,
raped
as
in
a
the
9
face.
or 10-year-old, aliens didn't scare you, or maybe you didn't see it? See,
I saw it probably when I was,
conversation is
I think,
about what
9.
we saw as young kids. That
I saw it. No, I saw it. I think I was probably 9 years old. I think it was on TV. I know I saw it before I saw the original.
Yeah, but dude, when you're in the theater, it's a different experience. Just
I've
saying.
never had the privilege. I've
Because then I
never
saw
seen aliens
Leviathan.
in the
Like
theater.
3 years later, I
You
saw
guys
the
have,
knockoffs
like,
like
7
Leviathan,
times.
and Leviathan was like an SNL sketch of Alien, basically.
Well, it's kind of like I consider Jaws an adventure film and not a horror film.
Agreed.
I agree with
people
that.
Can be
I
afraid
agree
to go
with
in the
that.
water because of sharks. It's like people can be afraid to go in the water because of sharks. Sure,
Jaws
but
is
it's like
horror.
you got those 3 guys on that boat, and that is like an adventure film. It's like
Jaws is horror, period.
I 100% agree with Kat on that. It's not a horror movie. There's scary moments, but it's an adventure movie, and I think John said that too. Like the score even kind of represents that. Outside of the main theme, the score is very John Williams adventure kind of score, you know. So, hey,
It's a horror movie. I consider it a horror movie.
It's a horror adventure.
I mean, it's both.
It's like
it can
Jurassic
be
Park.
both, but its first ranking, I would label it as a horror movie over adventure.
Ben, why are
Fair.
you dressed up like Eyes Wide Shut?
Because I told you I just got back from a Diddy party. That's why.
All right. Silencio.
And as I said, they didn't have baby oil, so I found some baby powder, which I hear is worth money nowadays because they don't make it anymore.
Well, no, you obviously have a jar of cocaine.
Just rack up some big lines of Johnson & Johnson baby powder.
What do you even? I don't even know what to use baby powder for.
Hey, Scotty, could you read this one from Ash D?
Ash D in the chat says, "Yeah."
She sounds just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah, like Little John.
Yes. I remember being so scared watching Paranormal Activity with my brother. We were fear giggling. I love fear giggling. That is the best.
Yeah, that's like when you're on a roller coaster, you're giggling, but because you're like scared or whatever. Yeah. Oh, here's a good one. Blair Witch.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of that too.
That would fall under like scary as an adult, you know. That but
man.
Oh, Black Phillip dropped off. Okay, no, I was gonna let him go next, but he's gone.
Oh,
all right.
But,
I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna go next because I put my picture up, and we've been talking about stuff like Jaws and whether like Alien was scary, and I think what worked for me, I don't know when I first saw Jaws or if I only saw parts of it and that was enough to give me the message of, you know, scary giant fish in the ocean, don't go in ocean, very, very scary. But Ben, like you, I also was scared of the shark getting me in the bathtub, in the pool. Any body of water seemed like a place where Jaws
in your bed.
Right.
In your bed, to some degree, in your bed. Yes, on land. Land shark could get you. So I think Jaws combined with the image I have up on my screen next, American Werewolf in London, those two created a fear in me of being eaten alive. And I think that's become the driving factor of what I found scariest as a kid in horror movies, were certain movies where a character was being eaten alive or being eaten by some type of monster.
That
now,
is
the
terrifying.
alien fits into that category a little bit. It doesn't really eat you like these things do, where it's like swallowing your body parts, but it is kind of a body horror. It does kind of take over your body. You know, it doesn't consume you. But once you get to Alien 2, where people are being cocooned, you know, that's like a form of it, like taking your body. And so I never found the Alien scary on the level that I did some of these other movies. That's why it's been able to be my favorite movie since I was a young kid. I never really found it scary. I found it exciting and tension filled and like it works as a horror movie, but so do a lot of other horror movies that don't scare you where you have nightmares about them.
Sure.
I found it exciting.
Like Fright Night. It's a horror movie, but
yeah. Lost Boys. Lost Boys was never scary, but it's clearly a horror movie.
I disagree.
Well, okay, we'll get there. But American Werewolf in London.
I've said it 7,000 times. Is that one of the most terrifying things in the entire world is being smothered and being raped in the face. I think that the face hugger is one of the most terrifying geegers that have ever existed. And I don't like that is, I don't want to be raked in the face to the point that I choke out. But if I had a choice,
baby.
if I had a choice between being raked in the face by a xenomorph, I would rather that than watch this. But I'm going to do that.
It's good, man. I know it goes good.
I'm hoping.
So I would just wanted to finish by saying American Werewolf in London, the scene on the moors where he first gets attacked and you hear him screaming in the distance, "It's killing me, it's killing me." Yeah. That's what did it. I think I got a little farther into the movie where they started having like the dream within the dream moments. Yeah. And that was enough for me. I couldn't finish the film, nightmares for weeks. And still to this day, sometimes I can feel the American Werewolf in London, specifically that werewolf following me if I'm walking through dark wooded areas, or even just as a kid. Ben, Brian, bunch of you guys, Joanne, where I live and the setup where the park is. Anytime I had to walk home from the park, the distance from the park to the house, I would start getting faster and faster and faster because I would feel like that werewolf was behind me.
He had a Chinese menu in his hands.
To me, the scariest thing of Werewolf in London is the Nazi zombie.
But the dream within the dream type stuff. Yeah, all those dreams. Yeah, those did it for me.
Yeah. All right. Who's next? Great one. Who is next?
I think Scotty has an obsession with saying that phrase he said last time. Every time he talks about Alien, he says it as many times as he possibly can every time.
Which one? The raked in the face?
Exactly. You love to say that every chance you get in the chat.
Yeah. No, I do. Good call.
Let's let you go next. Another thing that scared you as a kid, because obviously aliens didn't. So let's see.
It's a hard. The original Alien had a really great atmosphere to it, and then I saw this very weird one with Vincent Price called The Abominable Dr. Phibes, which was very weird. It was like a horror comedy, but it was very vicious and gory and sadistic.
I love Vincent Price movies, man.
And then the sequel.
I'm going to dress up like Vincent Price tomorrow.
This is Vincent Price. Do you remember when Michael McKean used to do Vincent Price on SNL?
Oh, Bill Hader does such a good Vincent Price.
Yeah, Michael McKean did a great one, though, because he looked more like him. He had the they used to do this sketch, Vincent Price in a taxi cab with Slim Pickens, and Slim Pickens was played by fucking Norm Macdonald. It was such a great sketch.
Oh, I got to check it out.
I love Vincent Price and the Hammer movies and shit. Like, those movies are not very well made, but they were fast produced, fun Hammer movies. Well,
and I would like to point out just for a moment while we're digressing, is that on to Vincent Price, is that Edward Scissorhands is a Halloween movie.
Yeah, of course. Came out at Christmas.
I love it. Actually, I don't. But I encourage other people to continue enjoying it. I don't like it.
Wonderful. I can go next because I love Jack Nicholson. That would be my favorite performance in any horror movie ever. That and Toni Collette in Hereditary are like top of like the best horror have and I know a lot of people say that's just Jack Nicholson being Jack Nicholson, and it probably is, but it works. The Shining, I have a couple different levels of like where The Shining exists in my life. Like I saw it way too young. I remember I was with I think my parents were having we were at like a Halloween party or something as a kid. And the kids were, this is the 80s. So the parents don't really give a shit if the kids watch them snorting coke or smoking weed or whatever,
Have some lawn.
So I remember me and a couple of other kids around my age were supposed to be asleep on the floor in front of the TV. And we weren't asleep. We were faking asleep. And the adults were watching The Shining. And the thing I remember the most, obviously, is the beaver shot of the girl coming out of the bathtub before she becomes the chick from Look Now. Where she becomes her butt looks like it has mushrooms growing out of it and all that stuff. But that movie scared the shit out of me so fucking bad. And then when I got into high school and I knew like film was what I wanted to do with my life, The Shining became this whole other thing where I just studied it and watched it, and anything I could find on Kubrick talking about it or behind the scenes stuff of him shooting it. I just was fascinated with it because I was like, this is such a perfect movie. And this is literally before I knew or cared that Stephen King didn't like it. I hadn't read the book. I hear the movie's way better than the book. Most people say that's true. But The Shining scared the fuck out of me so bad when I was a kid. And there's so many scenes I can go back to, but we would take all night if we did that. So, yeah, that one for me. And God, those music drops just add so much tension to those scenes and fright to those scenes. Yeah, I love that one.
That scene did
Brought
scare
to you
me.
by Brazzers.
Come play
So-
with us, Danny.
Oh my God, it's a threesome waiting to happen.
Those
Of course
two
you would say
go on to
that.
become Spice Girls. You know,
I'm
so.
dressed like Randall, Cat. Stop undermining my humor.
Brian.
It has nothing to do with you being dressed as Randall.
Well, let me ask this before we move on. Does anybody have any the childhood ones left, or do we want to move on to just some modern ones that we love?
I have my
Brian,
whole list.
What's that, John?
I have my whole list.
Guy, all right. So
Yeah. John, you go because I don't have. I mean, everybody's covered all my scary kid ones.
No, but okay. So John, go, and then we'll move. We'll move on to.
I'll do some real quick. I'm
Yeah,
gonna really quickly just go over ones that you guys said, just so you know that they were part of my upbringing and fear. You guys mentioned Poltergeist and the Clown, 100%. That was early on. Like, I want to say I'm kind of going in the order that I saw some of these as a kid and how they scared me. I would say after that would be something like Silver Bullet. Werewolves were the scariest thing to me when I was a kid. And Ben, that you know that I was pushing for like Werewolf that one year for us to watch a certain werewolf movie, turned out to be terrible or whatever. And I realized there aren't that many good werewolf movies. There's really, when I grew up, it was Silver Bullet and American Werewolf. And those were the two that did it for me. It set me down the path. The werewolves were really scary cinematic monsters. And really, they're not. there aren't that many great werewolf movies.
There's not. Yeah.
Well, no,
Silver
the
Bullet is
Twilight
another
series.
one. And specifically, it's a scene where one of the adults is looking for his son, and he like comes into the bar and he's like, "Hey, has anyone seen my son?" And they go searching for him, and they find him all ripped apart in the gazebo. Just the way it's shot, and the fact that it was like the main character's best friend that you had met earlier. So like me being a little kid and knowing another little kid just got killed in this movie from, you know, around my same age, it just had that impact on me. It was like, that could be me in that gazebo killed by the werewolf. It just had an impact on me. So again, it was kind of like the setting. If I would see a gazebo, I would think about this movie. Still to this day, I sometimes, if I see a gazebo, I think about Silver Bullet.
John, do you want to come over to my gazebo?
Oh no. Especially if there's a crate located anywhere near that.
Oh no, there's a crate. There's a crate
underneath it.
Yeah.
Another just kind of random one that isn't a horror movie that had an impact on me. Blue Thunder, the helicopter movie. I know that seems weird. Like, how does that movie scare you?
Yes.
It was the first time I saw somebody being put in a body bag. That Daniel Stern is in it as Roy Scheider's partner early on in the film, and they get some footage in the helicopter they're not supposed to have.
Spoilers.
And he's trying to get away, and they run him over while riding his bicycle, and he gets put away in a body bag, and I didn't understand it. To me, I was like questioning. I watched it with my dad, and I had to ask him, like, why was he so mangled that they could only fit him in a bag? He had to be like picked up and put in a bag. I didn't fully understand that was just a common thing that you do with a body. It was my first experience of seeing that, and it kind of scarred me of like, oh, this guy was run over by a car. He's so mangled that he had to be put in a bag.
Yeah.
So that was that one. I want to bring up
Does
a
it
screenshot
ever
here.
frighten you that you're going to be put in a bag someday?
And now I know. Yes, we all will.
Yeah.
So
Happy Halloween, everybody.
The trifecta of Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th. Each one of them had a film that had an effect on me, that had me spending time sleeping in my mom's bed. The movies are totally cheesy now. There's nothing really that scary about them now. This is definitely the effect they had when I was too young to see these movies and caught them on TV. Halloween 2, specifically the scene right there is the hot tub scene. So a lot of these movies, I would catch them on TV. Clearly, I wasn't going to the theater. My mom wasn't taking me. I wasn't sneaking in. I wasn't going with an older uncle or anything. It was when I could catch it on TV. So it's probably still even edited for TV. But, you know, the horror was enough to send me to my mom's room or whatever. So Halloween 2, the hot tub scene, I remember that vividly, freaking the hell out of me. And that scene has a lot of nudity in it. So clearly I was watching TV.
That's the sexiest scene.
It's a sex scene. And so whatever I was seeing, the TV version probably had huge chunks of that scene actually cut out of it, but it was still very effective and freaked the hell out.
It's so strange that there was a hot tub in a hospital.
Well, it's supposed to be like a recovery.
It was a therapy.
I guess it's therapeutic, I guess. On our recent Bloody Good Year, I talked about Nightmare on Elm Street, my time getting to see that on television. And I didn't get very far into that one. It was basically the This Is God moment and then the ripping of the face off. That's about how far I got into that movie before I was too freaked out to watch it. I don't even think I got to the body bag because I might have seen a body bag in a different movie if I had seen that. Now I think that stuff like the body bag dragging down the hall is some of the scariest imagery of that movie. But this scene right here with him saying, "This is God," was enough to send me to my mom's bedroom. And then the John,
last
can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt you for just 1 second?
Please go.
What is the name of the movie that Saul Rubinek is producing in True Romance? Is it Home in a Body Bag Part 2?
Going Home in a Body Bag.
It's a Tarantino thing. So anyway.
Yeah, it's called Going Home in a Body Bag, isn't it?
I thought it was Home in a Body Bag, but anyway.
And it wasn't Saul Rubenstein. It was
the name of the actor was.
No, I know.
But great title for a Vietnam War movie for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the last of
helicopter shots. Yes.
The last of the trilogy of getting a chance to see Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th movies when I was a kid. I never watched Chainsaw till I was much older. It just seemed too scary and gross as a kid. And so I saw it when I was appropriate age, and you know, it had its effects on me, but I was old enough to handle it. These were all when I was like under 11, probably under 10 for most of these. So Friday the 13th was one where I actually got to go over to a friend's house and watch the entire movie on video. It was Friday the 13th Part 3. It was in 1987 when I finally saw this, so I was like 11 or 12. And yeah, this scene right here with this girl being stabbed from underneath the bed, yeah. I couldn't sleep on the bed. I couldn't lay flat on a bed after seeing this because all I could feel was Jason stabbing me from below. So
she's cute. Is she single?
I spent multiple nights struggling to get myself to sleep and had to have I was actually living in Illinois this year and had my grandfather sit in the room with me trying to help me fall asleep. Aww. Feeling like a pussy because I was a bit older at this point. This one yeah, it should not have freaked me out so much, but it was just that whole like I couldn't lay on the bed because of how the scene played out. She's laying on a hammock, you think you're safe, and the knife comes through. I don't know. I just had never seen it, I guess. Now it's totally cheesy. That whole movie, Part 3, there's nothing.
I
love really a scary moment. 3's fun, but there's nothing really scary in it.
No, but it's a dude. It has the best intro music of anyone in the franchise.
Oh my god, the music,
the disco music is the best.
So that pretty much covers everything I wanted to mention. Psycho obviously was one that I don't even think I saw that till I was an adult and I was appreciating movies. But we all grew up knowing about the shower scene.
Yes.
Just taking trips to Universal Studios was enough to
the mother in the window.
Yeah, that was all enough to just clue me into the shower scene in general. And taking a shower was part of our daily life. And so I would be creeped out.
Speak for yourself.
I remember times of
I saw Psycho when I was 17, and I decided from that point forward I would never shower again.
There you go. That's one way to deal with it.
So yeah, I will. I'll wrap it up by saying those were the ones that freaked me out as a kid. By the time we got to 89 and 90, I was starting to feel confident enough to watch these movies without really it affecting my psyche with nightmares or anything. Sure,
Right.
you still feel the tension that the movie can bring if it's a well-made horror movie. So I want to say like films like Child's Play, Pet Sematary, and the 1990 It were all scary, but didn't really like create nightmares. But I think it's because they're all really well made. So they're just very effective horror movies.
Filthy slut.
But I didn't.
Well, and just to speak to that, I think that my introduction to Freddy Krueger at a young age made it so that I found Pennywise, and I mean Tim Curry's Pennywise.
Right.
It's like, oh, you lovable scamp. Like I was desensitized by Freddy Krueger, and that's why I wanted a Pennywise plush.
You know, I'll only say this because John mentioned a couple of movies that scared him that may or may not have been horror movies. One of the movies as a child that scared the fuck out of me was Return to Oz.
I've always heard people mention that, and I was
so
racking my
fucked up.
own brain because I rewatched that, tried to kind of watch it with James foolishly.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
And but he didn't pay attention. But I had it on, and I was like, where are the parts that people say is scary in this? And I got to the moments with like those guys on the wheels, and I got like
the guys on the wheels were the number one part.
But I was trying to like think about that movie in the context of whether I really remember being scared, and I don't. I can see why it was scary, but I don't. And that was one of the ones I was trying to like add of like, yeah, I know there's got to be some ones that aren't true horror movies that scared me. And the only thing that I remember was the Blue Thunder body bag thing.
That's such an interesting one, man. Blue Thunder. I just ended our poll of the evening. Which is the best of these franchises? Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, or Child's Play? Halloween wins with 35%, followed closely by Nightmare on Elm Street with 28%. Friday the 13th getting a lot of love when it at first wasn't getting any with 21%, and then Child's Play 14%. I would have to kind of agree with that. I would agree with that.
I voted for I voted for Friday the 13th.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, like I think that's crazy. I think that is the most plausible and scariest.
Well, until he turns into a zombie that can't die.
Well, no, but he's not. Jason Voorhees isn't even in the fucking movie until the last sort of stinger. And the rest of it is just his mom going ape shit. It's almost like a reverse Psycho. And also, you know, I enjoy seeing Kevin Bacon being stabbed through the back of the head.
It is pretty fun. Through the neck.
That is bitching. That is fucking rad. So,
okay.
That's what I voted for.
List off a couple more that scared me as a kid. Night of the Demons, Amityville Horror, and a movie called Killer Party. I saw those when I was way too young. They freaked me out. Now they're just like a joke and they're fun and funny. Me and Josh reviewed Night of the Demons a couple years ago on the Halloween Mixer, and it's just a blast. But when I was a kid, it was kind of scary. Not to anymore. Now it's like Ace Ventura. You know?
Well, Ben, if I'm correct, Killer Party might be on our 1986 Bloody Good Year.
Oh, good.
As an April Fool's movie.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to buy another Blu-ray.
So I'll start off with movies that scared us as we got older, and this can be anywhere after your high school experience or whatever. The first movie that really unsettled me and freaked me out, I think John knows where I'm going with this. Session 9. Session 9. I was in the military when I saw it because it came out in 2001. I was on an aircraft carrier, so a lot of P-ways and areas of the aircraft carrier looked a lot like some of the shit that you see in Danvers Mental Institution. That movie fucked me up. Its sound design is one of the major components to why it works so well, along with obviously the visuals and the location. But for me, as a grown adult, I think I was 23 when that movie came out. That movie scared the shit out of me. and I couldn't walk down a P-way on the aircraft carrier without looking over my shoulder. And there's not even a lot you're looking at in this movie. You don't even see a lot of imagery of things. It's just the way it makes you feel. It wraps itself around your psyche. So yeah, that's mine. Anybody want to go next?
Yeah, I have a couple that scared me as an adult. So, because for a very long time, I wasn't scared by any movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think John will know. John, do you have a guess if you're still there?
I'm here.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember what was the first things that scared me.
I know what she's gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was The Ring. That was
The
really.
Ring.
I
That's
was
a scary movie.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what did you think it was, Ben?
I can't remember. Go ahead.
Okay, so wait, Joanne, you didn't finish Poltergeist, a PG movie, and the scariest movie as an adult is The Ring, a PG-13 horror movie.
Whoa.
I guess it doesn't have to be very graphic to scare me because
Yeah, no, The Ring is scary. I agree with you. It's pretty dang good.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Because as we were saying earlier, different things scare different people. Gore, it doesn't scare me. Gore is gore. It's just like whatever. I know I'm watching a movie.
Yeah, it's not meant to be scary. It's
Gore
meant
is the director. His name's Gore Verbinski.
Right. But yeah, so the Ring was one that scared me as an adult, and then one that I delayed watching until just like last year or maybe earlier this year. I finally watched it, and it was scary, but I handled it. It was Hereditary.
Yes, that's one of mine too. That movie fucked me up bad.
I gotta watch it. I put it on the list.
Brian, are you still eating the dish from the marathon?
I'm eating the pizza. This is a Chicago pan.
That's what I'm saying. I thought it was the deep dish from the marathon.
It is.
Brian, you've never seen Hereditary?
No.
Oh, dude, that movie's fucking jacked, man. But it's not a happy horror movie. It's a very depressing horror movie, but it's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. Megan, The First Omen, Smile 2, Oddity, Immaculate, Substance, Cuckoo. I'm gonna watch all those.
Those are a bunch of good ones. Yeah. Is Cuckoo free to stream yet? Because last time I checked, it was still
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like $20 or something last time I checked. So I'm gonna watch that soon. But yeah, those are the ones that scared me.
Hey, Angry Space Marine Vanity says, your ring is terrifying. I'm wondering what ring he's talking about. Yes, Hereditary was disturbing. Dude, Hereditary has a scene where, well, I don't want to spoil it. No, we won't go into it because Brian needs to see it. But there's a scene in a bedroom that fucked me up so bad. You guys who have seen it know what I'm talking about.
The Terrifier 2?
No, it's nothing like that movie.
No, different. Yeah, way different. Terrifier 2 and 3 are all about gore, and anyway.
I also think The Descent, when I saw The Descent when I was in college, and that movie was just like wonderfully claustrophobic and just so beautifully shot. I love Neil Marshall. I wish he would do more stuff. He did do Dog Soldiers, which is probably the only good like werewolf movie that came out in the last 20 years. But I do love The Descent. It's very, very, very terrifying, and not even really from the troll, monster standpoint, just from being stuck. These are like women that are like extreme sports nuts, and they go cave rappelling, and then they just get stuck in this cave because it's a non-explored cave. And that's what freaks you out the most, is the claustrophobia of being stuck in these caves. And then you add to that like a monster element, and it's fucking brilliant. Kat,
that's my list.
Who's seen The Descent? Raise your hand.
I have. You can't see me raising my hand.
Kat? Is Kat raising her hand?
No, or I'd be raising my hand.
Oh my God. Well, I don't see you, so I can't tell.
Well, there's a raise hand function on here too.
Oh, my bad. Oh my God, Kat, you would love it. You got to watch it. You'd love it. It's great. You could watch the second one's fine, but don't watch it because the first one is Australian made, and it's way better. Like the American version ending is like a happy ending, and it's like, fuck you. Ash D says, The Descent is terrifying. I agree. It's wonderful. And again, it's the actresses sell it so well. And that's what's so important in a good horror movie is like the terror has to feel real. If your kill is like, you know, as opposed to like someone that sounds like they're really getting like fucking, you know, killed or whatever. Huge difference. Conjuring, Fourth Kind, Invisible Man, Barbie. I know it's a Barbarian. Barbarian was awesome.
I love that.
That movie was a treat. Like it was so refreshing. It like started one way and then became another movie and then it became another movie. Oh, Barbarian was fantastic.
Until the third act happened.
Yeah, it was a little paint by numbers by the third, but man, when it transitions to Justin Long, you're like, where the fuck is this movie going?
Yeah, it was like a new movie. Then I got it.
What else? Anybody else? My last.
How about the
one-
movie? The movie
Yeah.
where the people get eaten through a straw. Try to guess what it is.
Through a straw. I don't know.
Yeah. Boop, and then drink them with the straw.
What movie is that, Brian?
I'll give you another hint. There's aliens in it.
Bad Taste.
Oh, the killer clowns.
Bad Taste.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's not scary, but man, that movie's funny and fun.
It's nasty, but it's
definitely yeah. I like that movie, and I don't even think that was R. No, it had to have been R-rated, right? John, do you know? I think it has.
I think it's R-rated.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah,
but barely.
I actually just watched that last year too.
Well, my last one that scared me as an adult, and I know John's going to laugh at me because apparently he doesn't think it's scary or entertaining, and it's It Follows. That movie fucked me up so bad where I didn't want to go to sleep. I was looking over my shoulder for people that might be following me. It did stick up here. So that movie to me, just it really, really hit hard. And I want to say Hereditary is the last one that really hit me hard, but before that it was It Follows.
And you guys told me that I'd be fine watching it.
Yeah, well, John said you'd be bored. I think you'll like it. But
I do want to rewatch it because it clearly has, you know, an audience and people respect it. A lot of people still add it to various lists and whatnot. So I do want to rewatch it. I know, Ben, you talk about the score, and sometimes that's something that if I can let a score start leading me on the film, get a bit more into the score, I can get a bit more into the film maybe. So I do want to give it a rewatch. I just have never gotten around. I know there's a sequel coming, so I figured maybe I'd try to rewatch it close to that or something.
The score plays such an important part. I mean, I did a whole film and vinyl on it. Disaster Piece, they kept telling him, listen to Carpenter's music. And he's like, no, I don't want to. I want to do my own thing. And then lo and behold, it ended up sounding like Carpenter anyway, you know? So, but yeah, I don't know. But what do you guys have? We'll wrap it up soon, but I want to let you guys do free for all. Who wants to go next? Movies nowadays that kind of fucked up.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space is PG-13.
It is. I knew it. Because there's no blood. Even when he punches that guy's head off and it falls into the dumpster, there's no blood. So. And remember, that was back when like a PG-13 movie was like an R-rated movie, you know? Like National Lampoon's European Vacation has like 5 minutes worth of boobs in it, and it's PG-13 because they didn't know how to balance that out yet with the MPAA. What's a PG-13 movie? What's an R movie? But anybody else want to go?
I think the Babadook is pretty good.
Yeah, I like the Babadook a lot.
I like that too.
I like it that by the end of it, it's pretty much clear that it didn't really happen, right? It's not really a monster. It's the
mental demons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
yeah, I like
means
that.
She might kill her child. So
I would really love that pop-up book though.
Oh, I know. I wonder if they sell that if you buy like a steelbook or something.
No one mentioned the Leprechaun.
Oh, yeah. Leprechaun.
You know, I already did a whole Leprechaun thing with the other Ben when we did a Flights and Flicks. I did Leprechaun 1. I think I've had enough of Leprechaun in my life. So.
After the first one.
Well, that's the one I mean, yeah.
Nah. No, I mean, yeah, don't bother with the others.
40 meters
That's
down, Ashty says, or whatever it's called.
Oh,
Oh, that's
okay.
the shark movie where they're in like a shark cage, right? Something like that.
I think
It's
so.
got like some pop
40,
singer.
I think
like
it's 47 meters down, I think.
Taylor Swift's in it or some shit.
Taylor Swift.
Or there's like a pop singer in it, right? Like
I'm not sure. Let me check. I will check that real quick here. Landmarks open.
that's how I feel about Fourth Kind. Yeah, Fourth Kind was not very good.
But Hereditary, of course, a lot of people talked about that already.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, Hereditary is
The thing about Hereditary that was kind of creepy afterwards, it wasn't even so much like a movie that sticks in your head and scares you from what you saw in the movie. It was I don't know why I looked up. I wanted to see because I didn't buy into how the cult made everything work and everything perfectly timed.
no,
to
it
make the
didn't
whole
tie
thing
in.
happen.
It didn't tie together that well.
So I didn't like that, even though I really liked the movie and how it was made and whatnot. So I looked some things up that told me about I forget the name of the name of the demon that they're trying to bring back to life or whatever.
Pazuzu.
But it's not Pazuzu.
Pazuzu.
Whatever their demon is, it's a real demon. There's real. I mean, there's real lore that dates back
Right.
to ancient times about that demon, and the things that they believe about him and his followers are what the movie used. It really did do its homework to bring forth, and it made all of the stuff that I had problems with work out in the movie. So when I realized that demon is actually believed in, I don't believe in demons in that way, or at least not, I don't buy into it in reality, but it made the movie a lot scarier, and it made the concepts a lot scarier.
Yeah, just the whole I mean, Toni Collette, aside from being the best actress in the movie, is so scary in that third act. She just keeps showing up and doing all these random things. And I love how like you have this great actor like Gabriel Byrne, who just has nothing to do in the movie because he's not part of the bloodline. So he just has no idea what's going on. And then we know his fate in the movie pretty quickly. But Angry Space Marine Infinity says fake outs are okay. Well, you know what I want to do? I want to
I looked it up, and Mandy Moore was the pop star you were thinking of.
Oh, Mandy
okay.
Moore.
Oh, so I was right. There was a
She does acting. She does like
yeah, okay. Oh, she's in
This Is Us, and
she was the shark movie girl. Yeah, okay. But I want to ask Captain Marine Finity his scariest movie as a kid and see if he comes up with an answer. But in the meantime, anybody, Cat or not Cat, but Scotty is gone smoking weed. Probably.
I got one last one that
Go
I'll wrap
for it.
up.
Go for it, John.
Because I don't feel like I was trying to think like what are the movies that scared me as an adult, and I know there's movies that have disturbed me clearly. That movie Inside is one that
yes.
There's a lot of movies that I, as an adult now, taking the full context of the movie and how disturbing they are, you don't want to rewatch them. You appreciate for how good they are and how well they're made.
You felt a lot of the same way I did about Session 9, but maybe
Session 9 is one of those. It's hard to rewatch that. The Fly, it's hard to rewatch it, but how good they are. Like they're best picture quality movies, but they're hard to rewatch. But I was trying to think like, what are the ones that disturb me as an adult? And I know there are a bunch of like the newer films from 2000 and beyond. I just couldn't really come up with any that I felt strong about. But one that I did watch when I was finally at an age where I could handle movies, but it still scarred me, and I was still kind of young enough. I was probably like 19. But when I finally saw this movie, it just had an impact on me. And so it was like maybe the last movie I would say that scared me in my youth, which would be The Omen.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah.
specifically the maid or the nanny hanging
This is for
herself.
you.
This is for you. This is all for you, Damien. That was so creepy.
It
Yeah.
was, man.
I didn't
And
have
that
nightmares or
hanging
anything, but it was very effective. And I just
Mhm.
really remember my first experience of watching The Omen. Obviously, I was older, in my late teens, but it had the effect that you would expect that movie to have. And that scene specifically was just so like
It was. That's the scene
so
everybody talks about. And
Yeah.
that's the one tiny, tiny nitpick I have about the first Omen, because it was such a good prequel and it's so strong as a movie, but it does try to jangle the keys by doing a similar thing in that movie with another person hanging themselves. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, we didn't need that. We didn't need that. We already got it. That's a great one, man, because that scene and obviously like Rosemary's Baby, like there's so many scenes in that movie where she's just looking around the apartment, not understanding and once it gets even scarier because you're like, oh, these people are watching her and she doesn't even know it, Yeah, those classic 70s, 60s, 70s, like devil-based movies. I know Joanne hates those ones.
That's scary.
And you put something like that up against The Conjuring, and The Conjuring 1 is like, it's very like manic and energetic and scary and tense, but it doesn't have the subtlety of something like The Omen, And I think those older horror movies, the subtlety is the scarier thing than just the people running into walls and the glass breaking, So
Well, and you guys talk about the Amityville Horror, and
very subtle movie. Yeah.
Very subtle. It is all about tone, and it builds and builds and builds, and it's terrifying. I remember seeing, like, speaking of movies that you saw on TV, I do not own a copy of the Amityville Horror. I've never seen it digitally. I only remember it as something that was on CKVR in the middle of the day, and it was terrifying. And also, what is it? Oh my God. It was Rod Serling, and it was Night Gallery, the movie. That shit was terrifying.
I don't know that one.
Oh, well, it's good. Terrifying.
So we asked Captain Angry Space Marine Infinity his scariest movie as a kid, and I think he came up with Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know what? That's okay, yeah, because there's some fucking crazy shit in that movie, especially
People's
towards
faces melt.
Scariest movie as a kid, yeah, makes sense. And then Ash D said Temple of Doom was Temple of Doom also contributed to the PG-13. Yeah. Kalima Shakti Day. Affinity also says Watership Down. Yeah, I don't know if it's scary. It's just
I saw it. I was afraid. You know what? I was afraid of Watership Down, and then I finally saw it, and I was like, "This isn't as scary as I thought it was going to be."
Yeah, I was just thinking Rosemary's Baby. Yeah, Rosemary's Baby, again, no jump scares. Well, there's a couple, but it's just what's happening, which is what wraps itself around you and scares the shit out of you.
And I have to give so many thumbs up to John, because Damien, I'm doing it for you.
Yeah. Oh, it's so unsettling.
Oh my God. People who are willing to kill themselves.
I remember
terrifying.
I remember when I was a kid, a beautiful 20-year-old said, "Ben, this is for you," and she hung herself. I didn't have the same impact when it happened for real as when I saw it in The Omen, but it did happen to me one day, and I just don't bring it up that much because it's kind of a funny story. So,
well, no, it's great. It was so good. The time the girl, she hung herself, and she said, "Scotty R37, this is for you." And so she hung herself, and so I untied her, and while she was still warm, we consummated our unholy union.
Hey, Jar Jar, can you dip your head down so we could see the hanging? I love it. You could see where it hangs on the rack.
I'm sure I can find a price tag somewhere on this.
I remember going, should we cut that off? And you're like, no, we need to leave that.
You know, he's a more humorous character. But
Ben, I'm super bummed. I'm super bummed that Jar Jar didn't make an appearance in the Substance video.
Yeah, we forgot, right? Yeah, we forgot. But you know what? I had a lot of people saying that they loved how we kept changing the way we looked and stuff. They were laughing. So we did. We made it work. But yeah, you didn't have the Jar Jar. The Jar Jar would have been perfect because you kind of do look like when the boob falls out of the chick's ear or whatever, you know. I don't know if it falls
That's
out
the best compliment he's ever gotten. You do kind of look like when the boob fell out.
Fell out of the ear.
If I look like a boob, that'd be the best day of my life.
if you're a big fan of boobs,
yes, Return of the Living Dead.
Oh man.
We're gonna call it quits. We're gonna call
that's
it
it.
quits.
It's over. It's done. We're out.
It's almost over.
Jill
but-
said she's on her way.
Who?
Yeah, well,
Jill said she's on her way.
I got one thing I got to show though.
You did me!
If you don't think Lost Boys is terrifying, you are a better man than me. Man,
I am a better man than
I'm
you.
a better man too.
Yeah, Joe's a
You're
better
a better
man.
person. Better person. I dude, that scene just comes out of nowhere, and it's like I can't show.
I am a
brutality
Pearl
of that,
Jam
like-
song compared to you.
Mhm.
Jill says she's on her way.
Yeah, I know, but she missed the show.
You knew it started 2
I
hours.
love
ago.
Jill so much, but it's over.
Yeah, it's kind of over. I hate to say it, but I am going to be on.
Well,
Jill's
real quick,
show.
what's everyone's number one favorite horror movie?
The Shining.
Mulholland Drive.
Joanne.
I'm gonna go with the Fly.
Brian.
I'd have to say if Aliens counts as a horror movie, it's
It
Aliens.
does. Of course it does. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, Aliens by far. It's like one
Cat.
A and one B.
Halloween.
Ben. Oh, I already said. Shining. Yeah. I mean, Aliens is my like second.
Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream, not a horror movie.
Yes, it fucking is.
It is not.
It's not a horror movie.
I watched that movie and
Black
it didn't
Swan.
disturb me at all. It's pretty
So-
straightforward.
Black Swan.
Ash G says my all-time favorite is Rose Red. Really? Wow, that's obscure. I've seen that. I like it. I like
Putting
that.
it on my list.
TV movie, like
I
a
think
Stephen
it's
King
Yeah, it's a TV movie, but it was
gotta look
okay.
that one up.
It was okay.
miniseries or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
that's
didn't get mine yet. And now that you've complicated it because you want to say Aliens is a horror movie, well then clearly I have to say Aliens. I can't not say Aliens, but
right.
but and I do classify that as a horror movie, but I think in my brain it classifies as science fiction.
A movie
above all
that's
else,
nothing but horror.
or even action still.
How about a movie that's nothing but horror? That's why I picked The Shining, because that's just
okay.
a horror movie.
So then next on my list, if I had to pick that I would call a horror movie because it truly is horrifying, Jaws.
There you
But
go.
some people want to slightly push that out of the classification of horror. So next on my list, which can't be classified as anything but a horror movie, is The Shining. So I don't know. Take your pick: Aliens, Jaws, or The Shining.
Air 5, John. Air 5.
Yeah.
Shining.
But if you ask me the question, what's my favorite horror movie? I would probably
Thanksgiving.
I would probably say The Shining if it just came off the top of my head. But in terms of numbers of how I classify my top 10,
Right.
Aliens is number 1, and Jaws is like 7, and Shining is 8. So
Yeah, I'm with you. That's how I feel about The Fly, because I kind of feel like it's a sci-fi. And then so if I go with just straight horror,
It's a body horror. It's a body horror.
Oh, here's
It's
another one.
body horror, Joanne. It's
The Hills
body
Have Eyes, the original
Yeah, that's good.
by Wes Craven.
Black Phillip
Black
Alvarez
Phillip
says The Exorcist for him.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Hey, Jill.
Yeah,
Jill, I
Jill
have
is here.
never been more attracted to you in my life. Can you please show off your jumpsuit?
Problem is you say that a lot.
I do.
Oh, but I like the skeleton outfit though. That's pretty fun.
Thank you.
This is obviously from Fallout. Fallout 4.
Awesome. Yeah, you look great.
Ash
I
G
thought,
says,
I thought the bat was from Walking Dead.
Oh, it could be. Well, I mean,
"Oh, that's
there
what
are
it
there
is,
are
right?
zombies
It's,
in Walking Dead.
it's
In Fallout 4,
Negans.
in
It's
Fallout
Negan.
4, you have ghouls that are basically like zombies, except because of radiation.
Did you make a barbed wire baseball bat today as a Halloween costume?
Yeah, yeah. You get fake barbed wire. It's not real. So I'm not
Actually,
gonna hurt
that's the
myself.
Tanya Harding bat, right?
Oh my God! You know what? This is completely off topic, but I saw the Margot Robbie I, Tanya movie.
Wonderful. It's a brilliant movie. I love
Yeah.
it.
It's such a good movie.
So good.
If you I recommend it.
The plank
Anyway,
of wood,
back
the
to your
plank of
Halloween.
wood, yeah, the plank of wood Sebastian Stan has never been as good as he was in that movie. He's great.
Oh, you know what? It was all mustache acting.
I have to say the winner for me is Scotty. I'm a huge Clerks fan. I'm guessing she's going with best costume.
Mhm.
Yeah, he looks like Randall, except Randall didn't wear glasses. You should have gone.
Well,
the full
no,
nine
this
and
is
taken your glasses
something.
off.
Shut up. Yeah, no, I know. But I would also like to say that I used to have the Ranger Danger T-shirt, but I don't have it anymore. I want a new one. And as I said, my hat is sun bleached. However, the shirt that I wore, this is the shirt that Brody wore in Mallrats. So
Oh my
I
God,
feel
yeah, you're right.
confident.
Yeah, you're right.
Works.
Yeah, Brody. That's right.
I am, and also in
Like a
lore,
chocolate covered pretzel.
if
And I-
you, oh my stars.
And I didn't realize
If you
we had.
want, if you want to mix them together, if you want to know about the entire universe, Brody Bruce is cousins with Randall Graves. So I appreciate everything that I've done today, and I will accept all of your accolation.
Well, you won best costume. I would have.
Well, only Ash D.
I think it would go to you and maybe Brian, because who doesn't love?
I think Brian's got it better.
Everybody
Yeah.
loves Carlos, baby Carlos.
There's a baby Carlos.
He's been sleeping.
There's
the
a
whole
Jar
time.
Jar here too, but I
So
don't know.
okay, second place would be the Hangover guy.
That's me, right?
That's right.
That's me tomorrow, unfortunately. But yeah.
That's what the Hangover 3 could have used. A little bit of Jar Jar.
Yeah.
It rhymes. It's like poetry.
So, Jill, we were ending the show, and then we saw that you were coming on. So, I want to give you the floor.
Sure.
Mo- movie that you can give one or two or three movies
Okay.
that really fucking scared the shit out of you as a kid.
Oh, as a kid.
As a kid. Yeah.
Well, I
mean, it
saw
could be
Killer
now,
Clowns
too.
from Outer Space when I was 4 years old. And
That's
I
come
don't
up
think
a
I was
couple
supposed to
times.
be watching. I don't think I was
No,
supposed
you were
to be
not.
watching that.
You were
No.
not supposed to be
I had
watching
bad
Facebook
dreams about clowns for a few years.
That makes sense.
Although, yeah. So, it's not a movie, but when I was a kid, I was also afraid of the Crypt Keeper from the TV show, and I kept seeing it on TV though. They kept insisting on watching it, so eventually I got used to it and stopped being scared and enjoyed it. And so now that's one of my favorite shows.
It's a good one.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what I was too afraid of. I'm sure I was afraid of stuff when I was a kid, but that's pretty tough to do.
We talked about Poltergeist. That was one that a few of us had.
That's good.
How do you
Yeah,
feel
I
about
just-
ghosts?
They're okay. I don't know.
They're
I'm an
okay?
adult, and I was afraid of Event Horizon when I first saw it last year.
Oh,
it's
because
freaky.
Event Horizon is fucking terrifying.
It is, and if you're just watching it, maybe it's not so bad. But I wasn't just watching it; I was taking screen caps of it. So all
Yeah.
those really fast parts of the movie that go by so fast, you don't know what's going on. That's where the worst imagery is, and
Yeah.
it's really sick.
Well, and that's what, as an adult,
Mhm.
when I saw Event Horizon in the theater, and I was like, I have no idea how to process this. It took me days. And then I got the Blu-ray and I watched it again. We talked about it over on Jill's channel. And oh my God, it is one of the most terrifying things. Liberate tutabe. A man rips his own eyeballs out of his head and then shows them to a camera and says Latin.
I don't even think it's a question that it's the best Paul W.S. Anderson movie ever.
Oh,
made.
it's absolutely.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Because most of his movies aren't very good.
Yeah,
I first saw that when I was 9 years old. And I really liked it.
You can look up. You can Google like screen grabs of like the crazy shit that the other ship is doing, all the stuff that they're doing to themselves. Have you guys ever looked at that shit? It is disturbing.
Yeah.
It is. I took screen caps of it, but and there was worse. There was actual worse footage that didn't make it into the movie.
Yes, and I want to see it, but the thing is that footage is lost forever. There is a more explicit. And it's never going to come out.
That's the movie that the work print got burned, right?
There was a fire.
Yeah, there was a fire. The work print got.
It's not like they specifically did it, but maybe an alternate reality. Satan decided to burn it.
All those studios, they take the work print of the film after they telecine it and they put it in a vault, and that vault burned up, and that was one of the movies that got burned up. So you'll never see 100% of what they shot ever because it's gone. Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy shit.
No, but it's insane.
It's kind of like poetic. It's kind of like there's something about it. It's like because the movie's so fucked up, you're like, wow, that kind of makes sense. Maybe like somebody doesn't want the movie to exist. Scotty, would you read this from Ash D, please?
Ash D says, "Oh, speaking of that, just wondering, but have any of you seen Repo Man?"
Well, which one?
The opera movie. Oh,
Repo the Genetic Opera.
Kat knows what you're talking about, Ash D, and that's why we are friends.
I only know Repo Man.
Aaron Lynn Bousman.
I know.
I've seen it. I didn't. You know what? It was a little too stylish for me, but maybe I should revisit it. I saw the first half of it.
Who's in it? Because I've only seen Repo Man with Emilio Estevez and Harry Dean Stanton from the 80s.
Oh, no, there's Repo the Genetic Opera, and it does have Giles from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I think Genesis Rodriguez.
Yeah, the movie's not Repo Man, it's just Repo the Genetic Opera.
Yes. Anyway, I've seen part of it, but it was too much. It was too much for me, and not because it was too much in terms of, it was like watching a music video for an hour and a half. And so after the first half hour, I was like, yeah, I can turn this off.
Well, all right. I mean, that sounds fun.
Paps Blue Ribbon!
It's just a lot. It's like walking into a carnival and being like, nah, I'm leaving.
Ding dong! Ding dong!
I hate it every time you bring that in.
Hey,
you still haven't seen it. That's why.
Scotty, you know who was in Return of the Living Dead, don't you?
Gregory Hines? No, not true. There is a black guy, but it wasn't Gregory Hines.
No, it's the guy that was in Friday the 13th.
He was in a Friday the 13th.
He's like, no damn enchiladas. He's
he's the singing guy.
Ooh, baby.
Ooh, baby. I don't know what you're talking about, but if somebody promised me enchiladas in Thornton, I'd be upset.
Oh my god! And you're a Texan, right, Jill? So like enchiladas in Texas are fucking amazing, dude. Because that's more of a Tex-Mex type of Mexican food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have our
enchiladas in Ontario.
I prefer my enchiladas in London. They're so wonderful.
Yes, exactly.
They're
Yeah,
served
yeah.
with
California is better for the crunchy tacos, and we're better for the soft stuff.
we're better for the burritos, the tortas, and all that shit. Whatever. Hey, you know what? We won't argue.
I just want taquitos. Why is it so hard to get a good taquito?
Those are
Because you're in
good.
Because
Canada.
taquitos are just they're always the same everywhere. They're just
Yeah,
You know
they're
what? You go to the Olive Garden and you get breadsticks, and all I want is taquitos. Those are my breadsticks.
I want those too.
Give me all you got! Listen. Give me all you got!
Give me all the breadsticks.
You're gonna have to make them yourself.
Those
suppose.
breadsticks aren't as good as they used to be, though. They used to be really good.
Well, welcome
Everything-
to
well, but
our
Cat-
Garlic used to be like
Where's
baked
that?
into
main
the bread. Now it's
restaurant
just like
review.
Everything has gotten worse. Nothing's as
Paging
good.
Nancy.
Nothing.
No,
is
Arby's is great. Arby's is only
I don't
it's
go to
only
Arby's.
increased in its quality.
As soon as Arby's got rid of potato cakes, I said goodbye to Arby's.
It's
The
a
Red
seasonal
Lobster.
thing. Come on, don't freak out.
The Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits still just as good.
Yeah, but you can't find Red Lobsters anywhere.
Oh, I can hear. Yeah.
Oh, really? They're in Florida?
Yeah, yeah. But I think there's one in
Oh,
Garden Grove or something.
Florida gets seafood? I didn't know.
I remember this one, Ash G. Another great Halloween movie is Disturbing Behavior. Great body snatching movie. Village of the Damned. Yeah, that's where they're like, it's like a high school that's getting taken over by some mad doctor who's turning everybody into lunatics. I think it starred like Katie Holmes and James Marsden.
Is it called The Faculty?
No, that was like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That one had aliens in it.
Well, it had Jon Stewart.
But I remember that Disturbing Behavior was only
wanna
like
see
an
The
hour and
Faculty.
18 minutes long. And I was like, wow, that's a short fucking movie.
Not a bad thing.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was happy to have Jill on. Jill, any other movies you want to talk about before we call it a night? Because we've been on for a couple hours. I want everybody to have a wonderful, safe Halloween tomorrow.
Well, what's your
Yes, of
favorite horror
course.
movie of all time?
Yeah.
Oh,
Favorite horror movie of all time?
Easy.
Jill?
You had me on to talk about it, which is why I was so excited to work hard on it, which was Alien.
I knew you were
that
going
is-
to say that. Yeah.
I was gonna. Well,
You did that with
obviously.
Brian.
So
And-
I did.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. And he talked about aliens, and I
Yeah.
talked about Alien.
He didn't
and-
really talk about aliens. He just like spewed lines from aliens.
The whole movie.
But that shows a whole lot of love for the movie that he has the whole damn thing memorized.
No, but it was wonderful. Yeah. And
And then I only recently saw it for the first time, but you were just talking about it as I was coming on. Was The Fly with the more recent one, 86
Oh, yeah.
one,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum.
Fly is so
Super
good.
cool.
Awesome.
And I also I appreciate transporter accidents.
That is terrifying.
what the fuck is that?
No, in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, when they have the transporter accident, and then it's like they are beamed in, and it's not working, and they scream. They are absolutely being mangled.
No, I know the movie. I just
by
you
the
didn't say
technology,
the name of
and
the
then
movie, so-
and then you get like Captain or Admiral Kirk, and he's sitting there, and he's like, "Did you get them?" And then on the other end of the line, they say, "What we got back didn't live long, thankfully."
Thankfully, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
and Rand, he had to assure
It's not
Rand
your
it wasn't
fault.
her fault.
we'll end on this question that Ashty asked. Least favorite horror movie. The first one that comes to my mind was I think 2017 or 18. It was called Truth or Dare, and it was a real piece of shit.
The Mothman prophecies.
I love that movie.
Oh,
I
don't think-
fucking hate it. It's so boring. It doesn't do anything.
The movie's great.
I love that
I don't
movie.
I don't really hate the prophecy, but it's kind of low for me.
But they
Oh, the one
don't
with,
do
Christopher-
anything. No
Christopher
one
Walken.
dies. It's an investigation where nothing happens. It's the
Christopher Walken is
stupidest.
cool though.
I didn't
What?
really like. Oh, go ahead.
No,
No, Brian,
Your
go
turn.
for it. Brian, go for
No,
it.
I didn't really like Zombievers.
Zombie verse? What is that?
Oh, it was a cute.
You guys never watched
it's a comedy.
Zombie?
I agree with.
No,
Phil.
I like Zombieland. I like Zombieland. This isn't Zombieland.
Zombieland's
I got
awesome.
confused.
Oh, I love Zombieland.
I
yeah.
guarantee
them- I
Brian
got
likes
them conflated.
Zombieland.
I've never seen Zombie Verse. What happens in that one?
Oh, they
It's cool.
take over the universe.
No, it's kind of like the scary thing. Was it you Ben, or the raft? It's kind of like the raft where the zombievers, they like attack the people in the lake.
Zombievers? Now it's Zombievers?
Yeah.
Oh no,
I like this idea.
Zombievers. Hey, wait a minute. This is a good idea.
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
cool.
it's a
You
real
guys
movie.
have seen the movie
Can I
Teeth?
actually tell you the
There's
best
already a
horror-
movie, Zombievers.
There's
There
actually
is.
the best
dang
horror
it.
movie I've ever seen is Slaughterhouse, by the way.
Oh yeah,
It's the best comedy and the best horror movie.
that was the best movie we watched at that movie marathon.
That was so fucking funny. I couldn't stop laughing the entire movie.
It was like if Josh went rogue. Oh, so
I
funny.
think one of the worst movies ever is Frogs.
What is it called?
Frogs?
I've never even heard of Frogs.
Oh yeah, John. Do you remember when I
Yeah,
rented that?
yeah,
And you
How bad
warned
is
me.
that, John?
yeah. No, it was bad, but I mean, it was like late
Okay.
70s.
It
Low
doesn't matter. There's
budget.
been movies from that era, and that was just.
Oh,
like-
sure, there are.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what
What's
to
wrong with
suggest as my
frogs?
least favorite. By the way, all the images you've been seeing me put up are Ghanaian posters of The Shining. But
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I didn't know what to
Ash
pick.
D, is there any movie you haven't seen, Ash D? Jesus Christ.
There's a lot of bad movies that I could pick. I was trying to look on my yearly list to see if something stood out. Piranha, the remake of Piranha and its sequel, definitely were movies I hated. I thought they were terrible. But thank you, Joanne, for speaking up, because honestly, probably one of the worst movies I've seen in the last few years was whatever clown movie you made us watch for the Halloween Mixer 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, it wasn't a real movie.
It was a
still,
found footage clown movie.
we gave it its entire runtime and watched that fucking thing, and that was
Right.
fucking torture and terrible.
Yeah.
Dude,
Frogs was
and
the
okay.
worst.
What was the
Okay,
dude,
so
John,
Joanne.
Wait. John, the name of that movie was so on the nose. Wasn't it called like The Clown Killings or something? Like,
I blocked it from my memory. I wouldn't have remembered if Joanne didn't speak up, and it made me think of the torture she put us through.
that movie there was nothing going on in that fucking movie, man. Like just
So Joanne, I've just found The Frogs on DVD.
Yeah.
It is $18.66 Canadian.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Should
do
I
it.
buy it?
Don't.
Okay,
do it.
then I will not. That's the thing, is that I was just like, hey, Joanne, should I buy this? And the answer is fuck no.
Yeah. Save your money.
oh, I guess you can rent it on Prime.
There you
But,
go. That's better.
You know, I want to give like an honorable mention shout out to a movie that, had I seen when I was a kid, might have really freaked me out. But I appreciate it and I love it so much. And it is from the 70s and it's called Tourist Trap. And it's another movie that's PG rated when it should be R rated.
Very
I
disturbing.
fucking love that movie so much.
That's a good
it's
movie.
basically a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but with dolls or mannequins or whatever.
It's like
Yes.
remember that remake with the wax figures?
You mean
What this is-
House
you
of
know
House
what,
of
we're
Wax
not-
with Paris Hilton?
I think it's
We are
based on.
not sponsored by this film, but this is probably the best film that you could watch on this Halloween season.
I agree.
It has everything.
It's a must. It's an absolute must.
I just saw it today, and it blew my mind.
I told you, man. I told
Wait,
you.
that was the
And I
first.
found-
Thanks. I needed that.
Sorry.
Scotty, that was the first time you've seen Return of the Living
Yes.
Dead.
Yeah, I told him
Wow.
about it. I told him about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a treat!
It's
It
so
was.
fucking.
It was
Well, I mean,
so good.
the music, the visuals, the
Oh.
boots. Like,
Don't
it's-
watch the sequel.
No.
Well, I mean, you can watch the sequel, but don't watch it and expect to get anywhere near the same experience. It's
If you want to watch the first sequel, there is one funny scene where a young boy like eats his mother's brains. Other than that, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Well, no, the thing is that now that I've seen it, I want to hear the audio commentary with Dan O'Bannon.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to hear about it.
Dude, you know what you should watch now that you like the movie so much, Scotty, is a channel called Cinema Gulp that has an episode called Film and Vinyl, where we
I've
talk
heard of it.
about the making of the movie and the making of the soundtrack and how they came together. And it's a really
it sounds
I've
great.
heard it's amazing. Never seen it.
I will like and subscribe and share.
You know who else should watch that?
Love him.
Yeah. Anyway,
He's my favorite Dracula.
yes, he is. Oh, dude, have you guys ever seen the behind the scenes footage of Gary Oldman drunk as fuck as the Dracula with the big butthead hair, like arguing with Francis Ford Coppola? It's fucking great, dude.
Oh, it's so cringe.
Like Gary Oldman was drunk the whole fucking time. And I don't know how he just put out such a brilliant performance, because like he's just him and like Francis Ford Coppola just yelling at each other, and he's got that big old man with the butt hair, and he's just like stumbling around.
I was
you
Sid
told me to
Vicious.
do it this fucking way. I thought you said I could do what I want. Like it's fucking. You got to YouTube that shit. It's great.
You know what? Okay, so I would say, you know the guy who played C-3PO? Anthony Daniels.
Anthony Daniels, yeah.
Right. He is the GoBot version of Gary Oldman.
How so?
Anthony Daniels
don't
is
get that at all.
very into his performances, and he is very specific about the way that he moves, how he discusses. And he also thinks that he is very, very important. And I think that Gary Oldman holds the same sort of, I don't know, actor's animus.
All right. Well, Blackfield.
All right. Well, no one cares. I don't fucking care.
No, Scotty. I wanted to bring this up, Scotty, because you'll know what this is in reference to. So Black Phillip Alvarez says the movie he's talking about is called Rubber, about a killer tire. Do you remember what that's?
Movies.
Do you remember what that's from, Scotty? When we had
The
Blake
movie
Robbins.
Rubber.
Blake Robbins, the actor.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was in Rubber. Yeah.
I was so, oh my God, that was one of my favorite times. I can't believe I got to talk to a guy who was in a production of Rubber. I'm not joking.
Scotty,
Well, he
I
was
shot a
also in
movie-
The Office, and you know.
I
I
shot a
don't
movie
fucking
that
care.
takes
He was
place-
in Rubber.
Scotty, I shot a movie that takes place at the same set. The entire movie of Rubber is shot at this little fake motel out in Lancaster, and I shot a movie in the same space.
No
Not
shit.
the same movie. It wasn't Rubber, but it was basically on that same location.
Oh, John, you should have been on
But that's
that
incredible.
episode with Blake, dude. Oh my God, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
It's super recognizable when you see it. It's like, yeah, you see it show up in music videos. You see it show up in all kinds of stuff. It's a recognizable location, but it's cheap to get near LA, and so they shot their whole movie there, just like we did.
Hey, Ashton, watched the Blake Robbins episode. I'm assuming that's what she's talking about. Oh, thank you. That was fun. That was a
Oh,
lot
and
of-
also everyone should
I watched that one
subscribe
too.
to Blake.
Well, he doesn't
Ben-
have a YouTube channel, but watch his
I don't
movies.
care.
Ben, can we take a moment to talk about something real serious?
Yes.
Sure. Why not? Fuck it.
Okay.
Let's get serious.
You mentioned this yesterday. Terry Garr's passing.
yeah.
Terry Garr.
R.I.P.
Yeah. I don't know if you had a clip from Young Frankenstein. at all,
Young
but-
Frankenstein. I didn't bring one up, but man, she was
okay.
so great. She was
she was great in
her
that.
bust in that movie. Oh my God.
She
Well, not to
busted
mention
Great
that
knockers.
movie.
She's great. She was great in Tootsie, great in Mr. Mom. She's great. She was
Yeah.
a great actor. I loved her in Dumb and Dumber. She had one scene in that movie, and she was great in that scene.
Well, and she was in the Muppet movie.
Yeah.
And also, and I know she would not want me to bring this up.
That's okay.
She never talked about it throughout her life, but she was in the season 2 finale of Star Trek, the original series, and she did not have a good time. She did not talk to any fans about it. I'm pretty sure Gene Roddenberry raped her. So, allegedly,
take back
What are
allegedly,
you talking about?
Take back that
allegedly.
last bit.
Anyway,
That's
so
bullshit.
no, we'll edit this out in post.
Yeah, I
And
don't- I
so
don't
it's a Halloween
believe
story.
any of that. Yeah.
So, but I'm just saying that she, you know what? I really loved her as Roberta Lincoln in what was it? Assignment Earth? Jill,
Yeah,
you know.
Assignment Earth. Yeah, no, Terry. Yeah, exactly. Assignment Earth. She was the one
Yes.
who. Well, her actual problem with that episode was that the costume department kept shortening her skirt and shortening it, and she got really uncomfortable with that.
Mm. So Gene Roddenberry didn't rape her.
No.
Okay, that's good news.
Yeah, I don't think he raped anybody, Scotty. At
No,
least
he
Oh
doesn't.
no,
He loves
no,
humanity,
no,
and all of his extramarital affairs were all consensual.
Are you okay? Sure. Allegedly.
You know, he cheated.
It
on
doesn't
his
matter.
wives,
We're
you know,
demonetized
but
anyway.
Yeah, no, I know,
The
right?
ladies he cheated with, they were okay with it.
I think I
You know
said
what, though?
swears within the first 10 minutes.
No, we didn't. But you know what? We did get a super chat, so we did.
So
get paid.
we
we did get
okay.
paid.
So here's the question to Ash D: was this worth the $4.99? Was it a magazine?
I think it was. To me, it was. Yeah,
It's up to Ash D.
You got the $4.99.
I did. I got.
Yeah,
well,
it's up to you.
well,
I don't
course
get
it was
it.
worth it to
actually,
you.
John, I'm going to get about $2 out of that. But that's
No.
awesome. It's awesome,
Dude, that's chicken feed. I don't need that shit.
dude. We got.
It starts
Dude,
to add
Get
up
out of
after
bed
a
for
while.
$5,000.
You're late to the party, John. We got revenue on Cinema Gulp now, brother. We got revenue
Nice.
coming in, money coming in. Telling you.
So buy me a She-Hulk.
Tens
Oh,
of
yeah.
dollars.
Yeah, save your 18 from frogs. Put it towards your She-Hulk.
Yeah, they're both green.
And they're
Okay,
both terrible.
I think I found it, John. I think I found it. Let me find it. I got to make sure that this pops up. Why are you doing this to me, computer? Why don't you die? You
I'm
son of
sorry,
a-
I can't do that, Dave.
God damn it.
In a way, that's a bit of a horror element in 2001.
Oh yeah, totes.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
now I got it. Okay, so we're gonna bring this
I
up in honor of the beautiful, talented, hilarious, amazing Terry Garr, because she's extraordinary, and even though she hasn't been anything in a long time, we're gonna miss her.
2011.
What knockers?
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
Oh, that's all right.
That's just one little moment of how awesome she looks in that movie. What knockers? Anyway,
2011 was the last thing she did.
yeah,
Said-
didn't she have multiple I can't even say it. Multiple.
She had multiple scleroses.
I think that's what she had, right, John? Like,
No,
I'm not
anymore.
sure.
I think she suffered
I'm
for a
not looking into
while,
that.
which kind of sucks. But yeah, I think she didn't do well her last couple of years. But you know what? She's up there with Gene Wilder. Now
I was looking to
Well-
see if she did any horror movies. I don't see anything listed that's really a horror movie. She's got she did an episode of Tales from the Crypt,
There you go. See, I love Tales from the Crypt.
but
Yeah.
no true horror movies that I see.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad Save the World. I forgot about that one. That's a
Yeah.
great.
I never saw it, but I know.
Oh,
Doesn't
Blair,
this
She
remember
might
that
not-
one? Mom and Dad
Jones?
Save the World.
Yeah. Mom and Dad Save the World.
Was she in Tune In with John Ritter or whatever the fuck that was?
I didn't
called?
see
No,
that
that was
listed.
Pam Dauber.
Yeah, that was.
Mork and
No,
Mindy.
She may not have
Jill,
liked
Jill,
Mindy.
you've been talking about doing Tuned In.
I'm
Tuned In
talking
is
about doing Tuned In.
That movie
I'm talking
is so
about doing
fucking fun. I love that. Movie.
Stay tuned.
That's what it's called. Stay tuned. Yeah. With
And
John
that's the
Ritter
one with
and-
Pam Dauber and John Ritter.
and fucking Jeffrey Jones,
Jeffrey Jones.
the pedophile. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to talk
Yes, the
about it.
pedophile.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it on my birthday. And if we just want
We
to
Jill
ignore
wants to talk
this
about a
person.
pedophile on her
You're saving the
birthday.
pedophile talk for your birthday.
Yes.
A wonderful
No.
present.
See, I talked about Star Trek the motion picture, so
Oh my
I'm-
god! I
Who
forgot
was
Art
the
over the
pedophile?
artist.
Oh, right. No,
John.
Jones. Stephen Collins. Pedophile.
John, last time I saw Terry Garr, she was the stepmother. She wasn't the stepmother, but she was the father's girlfriend in Ghost World. Yeah, that's where I remember her. And she's like,
never
"Hi,
seen
Marge."
Ghost
She's
World.
like, "All right." Oh my god, that's right. That's the last time I ever saw her in anything.
What
was in
happened
Ghost
to
World.
Thora Birch? Where did she go?
She got a bunch of surgery done on her face, so now she doesn't look like Thora Birch anymore.
Oh, is it like
Took a
oh,
substance.
I hate when that
Jean-
happens.
Yeah, Jean Grey.
She took that Hollywood substance.
Yeah, that's a
called-
botulism.
Botulism? That's your go-to.
Botulism is
for the
when
Hollywood substance.
Isn't that when a can is poisonous or something like that?
It's like
No,
Botox.
it's what's in Botox. Yeah.
all right.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what? I think we are off the rails. Can
Yeah,
we end this
I
shit?
think yes, we can. We can.
But you guys are talking about Terry Garr, and she might not have liked her Star Trek role in Assignment Earth. But
She
I
didn't
love
like
when
it.
I love when she talks to a little green box, which is kind of basically a prediction of Alexa devices. It's a
Yes.
prediction of Alexa device, and she says, "He's safe, and you're safe, my little green friend." And the box responds with a little bloop or whatever it does. Cute.
Well, her box is going to be green now.
Oh, chlamydia.
Hey, Headcase, what do you think? Should we end this?
Well, I just might lose my head.
I know. Well, we all are. That's what Scotty was saying. So, you never know. You never know.
Get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot. It's serious.
I think this is a good indication that we should
Take a
end.
big step back and literally fuck your own face.
But play some closing music. You never play closing music.
Well, I don't
Play
have any.
something-
Okay, well, I
Well,
have
play
to.
something good. Play
Happy
something
Halloween,
good.
everybody. I'm signing off. See y'all later.
All right, happy
Okay,
Halloween.
bye.
I see you, John.
Later, John. All right, guys. I'll play something that seems frightening
Goodbye.
if I can. Love you guys. Happy Halloween. Thank you so much for coming on, Jill. Sorry you came on so late. Sorry we didn't have time. But I appreciate you being here as always. And I'll be there for Harry Potter on Friday. I cannot wait. So tell people what you got going on, Jill.
Oh yeah, thank you for allowing me to, even though I wasn't here for very long, like you
Oh,
said.
You're all
On
dude,
Friday?
anytime you're here is awesome. So
On Friday, thank you. On Friday, I'll be talking about Harry and the Horcruxes and the destruction of them, and all Voldemort and his quest for immortality, because he's a sociopath. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to continue For All Mankind through season 4, and that's fun. The big news for that one is I might have Robert Meyer Burnett show up on December 3rd after I
Yeah.
finish my reviews.
don't hold your breath.
To talk about
He's a good man.
season 5 speculations, and I'm hoping that his love for the series and wanting to speculate on season 5 rumors and production stuff will bring him around.
Oh, if it's Star Trek related, he'll probably show up.
Yeah, it is. For All Mankind is totally Star Trek related.
And he loves that show.
Scotty
Exactly.
and
I think I have good chances.
Scotty and Kat, what do you guys have coming up? Because I'm guessing they're together.
Oh, before we I'm sorry. Sunday. Right here. I'm gonna play Fallout on my channel on Saturday.
Scotty knows I just tried to put music on. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jill.
No, that's all. Saturday night, I'm gonna play Fallout, the original.
And I'm gonna be with you for Fallout.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna be with you at the the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys there.
So I'm really looking forward to that. And oh no, I don't even know what is happening with the future of the Phantasmagorium. We were going to do a thing, but I'm not doing a thing because someone's going to be doing something more interesting. So I don't know. I'm going to do whatever I want. And that's usually how it goes. But also, thank you, Kat. I can't wait to see your next review of the next episode of The Penguin.
Well,
because you guys have been covering that. And I'm looking forward to doing what we do.
Well, yeah, we will.
What
Maybe
happened
on
to
Friday or
Frankenstein?
Saturday.
We do. You know what? We are Alice Coopering currently, and it will feed our Frankenstein.
Feed my
Okay, I'm relieved.
Frankenstein.
That sounds
I
good.
know Brian knows
Ben
that
gets
one.
it.
Good. Well, Brian loves Alice Cooper.
That's right. I've seen him twice or 3 times.
We're not worthy.
I'm now gonna eat you. All I have coming up is I'm going to be on Jill's show on Friday morning talking Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. I'm taking a little bit of a break from our shows because I've done 6 episodes of Halloween for the channel and I'm burnt the fuck out. So I'm going to drink some
I'm pumping
whiskey and
those
watch some
out.
horror movies.
But
And
what
then,
are we doing?
well,
What
no,
are we doing
I'm
when we
getting-
come
I'm
back?
getting- I'm getting to that.
All right.
And then Scotty and I are going to do a retrospective on all 3 of the Fletch movies. We're going to talk about the difference between the Fletch movies, the Fletch books, the Fletch actors. It's going to be amazing. And then on November 15th, I appear on Represent This YouTube channel talking with him about Predator 2. And he gave me a nice 5-minute segment of my own to talk about why Predator 2's ending is better than the Predator 1 ending. And
Agreed.
yeah.
Oh, that sounds like serious business. Good work getting that.
Yeah, no, I'm super stoked that he has me on. He's got nice viewership, so I'm hoping to score some subs and some babes out of that. Some babes, some honeys. We'll see what happens. But thank you everybody for coming on. Brian, I'm gonna let you do the honors. We are Cinema Gulp, and we
Drink your cinema.
Boycott this shit.
love you guys. Love you
Mwah.
guys.
Happy
Happy
Halloween.
Halloween. Happy Halloween.
Oh, what?
See you later, guys.